Hello and welcome back to the Funfiltered podcast. I am Sam and I am joined as ever by Jordan.
That's me.
It is.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, we did it at the same time.
Yeah, we did.
What do you do if you say hello at exactly the same time?
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is like a conversation. It's like a back and forth.
Like while you're saying hello, I get to think of what I'm going to say after you've said hello.
Yeah, which is usually hello.
No, if I've said it first.
Oh, I see, okay.
I then get to plan what I'm going to say next for the second it takes you to say hello.
Well, but after hello, it's usually, you alright?
Yeah. But when it happens at exactly the same time, it's kind of a jolt to the system.
Yeah.
So,
Like, we're both on the spot now.
Right. Who goes next then?
That's the thing, isn't it? There's no, like, designated...
Driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no next person to speak.
Yeah.
Because you've both spoken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's make sure that never happens again then.
Okay. Alright. Nice little bit of conversational...
Analysis.
Yeah, analysis to start off. Funfiltered.
Yes. Well, it is fun-filtered.
It is fun-filtered, yeah.
Yeah. Does fun-filtered mean fun-reduced? Like what? Because when you think about it...
It only took us 52 episodes to be like, let's just talk about our name.
Well, no, because well, the cat's out of the bag now, isn't it? Like, it's us. It's always been us. Hey.
Yes. Hello.
And we are fun-filtered now. No more fun-limited. It's all fun-filtered.
Yes, it's the podcast through and through.
Yes. We hopefully will do other stuff, but it'll still be under the banner of fun-filtered.
Yeah.
But
doing
fun-filtered.
other stuff, that'd be nice.
Yeah. It doesn't... I don't think it means reduced. Filtered just means it's being channeled through a vessel. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know... I mean, if you look at it like a sieve... Yeah, like some stuff doesn't make it through.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? By extension, when you filter something, you end up with less than when you started.
Yes, but the stuff you end up with is the best stuff.
The stuff you actually want. Yeah. Yes. But you end up with less of it.
So really...
And you don't end up with less when you listen to one of our episodes.
No, you don't. But that's the thing. That's the contradiction. Because fun-filtered would imply that there could be all this fun, but like... Instead of just a level 1 through 5 fun, you're getting 6 through 10 because it's filtered.
Right.
So you're not getting the worst types of fun. You're just getting the best fun.
The nuggets of 10 fun.
Yeah, that's what this podcast is.
Right, okay.
But the actual podcast isn't that.
No.
It's unfiltered.
Yes.
So it's not actually fun-filtered.
No.
It's just unfiltered.
It's just unfiltered. And it's not even fun, so why on earth...
Well, yeah, it means nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a joke initially. Wasn't it? Because basically, I don't want to go into the whole deep dive of it.
No.
But the whole idea of Jeremy Kettle was when we started, like, we're going to do a podcast, and we wanted to do a little comedy company sort of thing, didn't we? Short films, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we thought, it would just be kind of funny if there was like a fiction behind the scenes of Fun Limited, and like even the name.
Just to sort of give the social media stuff a unique voice.
Give it some life, you know, and its own little narrative, and becomes the story. But obviously the whole idea of the title was that it was an inside joke against the guy who had created it without him realising it.
Yes.
He thought, it's unlimited fun. Yeah, Fun Limited. But it's actually Fun Limited.
Yeah.
And he would never know that because of his own hubris. But so then everything, we decided we'd apply that kind of pun portmanteau
Fun
thing
filtered,
to
fun divided, fun off.
Right. But now that it's not necessarily totally sincere, but now that there's no trickery...
Yeah.
We're just left with Fun-Filtered. And is it the best name for the... But it is what it is now, so...
I was going to say, you're not suggesting that... We've just done
no, I know.
the redesign.
We've just done the rebrand.
And the kind of jig.
Yeah.
And now you're like, the name is actually... I don't like that anymore.
I think it's one of those things that it absolutely doesn't represent us. Probably. But it's what we... Like... What was it? I think when Hitler had that mustache, someone said to him, "Why have you got that ridiculous mustache? That's not fashionable." And he said, "It will become the fashion because I wear it."
Right.
And I think, like, even though the terms don't apply to us, we will give it a new definition. We are now, even though it's not a word, Fun-Filtered, but we have now created... When people say Fun-Filtered, they will think of us.
Fun-Filtered will become the fashion because of us.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And it will mean whatever our podcast means.
Yes.
Yeah, which is...
Our podcast will mean whatever it means.
Yeah. The title of our podcast, when used in any context, will confer what this actually is. What would you say it is, John? What is this podcast?
How far are we into this? Are we going to go, Sam?
Well, I just want to know what you... If it was, like, in the dictionary, Funfiltered, what would it be? How would it be defined?
Well, yeah, like sort of what we were saying before, that there's... you end up with less fun.
No. I mean the actual podcast.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. If Funfiltered means the podcast,
okay,
what would be the dictionary definition?
A
self-indulgent, twaddle,
bizarre menagerie of cultural and pop cultural discussions
through the veil of ignorance and irony and
white, because you got to stick that in there. Yeah.
Social rejects. Cis, racist,
misogynist,
transphobic,
couch potatoes,
Islamophobic couch potatoes. There you go. Welcome to us.
As you can tell, we do have a couple of things to talk about.
We do, yeah, we have.
But it is only a couple.
3.
We have precisely 3 things to talk about. Planned things to talk about. You say, like, I know we do this all the time where we're like, we've only got one thing to talk about, or we don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah.
And we end up with a 4-hour episode.
I'm past the point of worrying about that.
Yeah, but that's when it starts happening. Like, that's when you start actually not making any content.
It's never going to happen.
I mean, I'm just like, is it just the wrong time to be, like, generating content? I know in terms of, like... film, like we've got these 3 because they're all film discussions. They got these
3 film reviews.
3 film reviews we're doing today, and then there's not going to be much coming out for the rest of the summer. So in terms of like pop culture-y stuff, there isn't a ton to talk about.
No,
but just like outside of that, because we do the 2, don't we? We do pop culture and kind of culture, and also kind
politics
of other stuff as well.
Like, whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah, basically. Like the chocolate orange industry. That's that whole thing, and like these people, and none of that's happening at the moment.
Is that over then?
I don't want it to be over.
The orange thing, is that over? Is that
no, I'm just like, well, no, it's all quiet at the moment. We've still got a steady stream of stuff coming out.
Right, okay.
But it is just sort of coming out at the moment.
Right.
It's not, the big, this is a pattern. Like, that's been established.
Right.
The pattern's just, like, continuing
plateaued.
To pattern outwards.
Right, okay.
But yeah, like, I've been, like, weather permitting, I've been, like, going on walks again.
Right.
To be like, whenever I go on walks,
something might happen.
Something might happen for us to talk about.
Yeah.
But that's not happening. I suspect because now that I'm one of the 9 to 5 drones, all of the characters that take part in the stories that end up on like a story worth telling. Like, let me tell you about this thing that happened. The type of people you meet that make those stories happen. They don't do the 9 to 5 thing.
Yes.
So they're out between 9 and 5 when I'm in work.
When do you go for walks then?
Well, after work.
You go for nightly walks?
Not necessarily nightly, because it's still summer, so it's quite late. But I'll sort of go between 6 and 8. I'll sort of go for a walk.
I think there'd still be some freaks out and about.
You'd be surprised. Well, no, because like they're out 9 to 5 and then they go to the pub. Or they go to pick their kid up because it's their weekend to have them.
Yeah, don't be judgmental.
No, I'm just saying what I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think those people are in the pub 9 to 5 as well, aren't they?
And yet I'm not finding them. Sam.
No, I know that. But the freaks that roam around, that's what they do. They roam around.
Yeah,
and
you just sort of happen upon them.
Yeah.
Well, they happen upon you, like that guy that was walking back from Ponty that one time. After we'd all been out, because that's something we used to do. We used to go to Ponty all day and then go home.
Yeah, go home. Yeah,
and then this guy just sort of like walked up next to me and he was like, "You all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." He said, "Where are you off?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just walking home." He went, "All right, I'm just going to get my machete."
Yeah,
okay. And then he just continued to walk with me, describing his machete,
right,
and the utter bitch of a person in his eyes,
right,
that had claimed his machete as her own, and he was going to go get it back off her.
What's like an ex-girlfriend had taken his machete?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't even think it was an ex. I think they were still like technically together. They just weren't on speaking terms. Right, okay. The thing is, like, obviously there's a sinister timbre to it because you're talking about a machete.
Yeah.
And like an ex, and he's not happy with her. But that could be the most legal, well within his rights. She just has his machete.
Yeah.
Now he wants to go and get it back because it's his property.
Yeah.
Like he's entitled to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to hurt you. Just give me my fucking machete back.
No, I'm not going to give you a machete back because I'm worried that you're going to use it on me.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I told you about that story before, right? I don't know if it was brought up on the podcast. About I broke down on the side of a road a while ago.
Like emotionally?
No. No, the car broke down emotionally, I suppose.
Right.
Like, I don't know, just stopped working.
Motionally.
It emotionally broke down.
Yes.
Yeah, and I called my dad, and he sort of came to the side of the road, called like the company to come and take the car, and he came with me. But the arrangement we ended up using meant that his car that he came in to pick me up was still on the side of the motorway.
Right.
So we had to go back for it. Mm-hmm. So he ended up having to call somebody else to be like, right, can you take us back to my car on the motorway?
Right.
So we can now get in that car. Now that this car has been taken to the place it's going to be repaired.
It's like the fox and the chicken conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't have... Yeah, the fox, chicken, cabbage. You can't have them all on the same thing. Yeah, so he like came to pick us up and take us to the car.
Yeah.
And then we got there. And he was like, oh, by the way, I've got your axe. Because he borrowed his axe to do some gardening. He was like, oh, do you want your axe back? I was like, yeah, all right. And I was just very much aware that we were on the side of a busy motorway.
Yeah.
And this man pulled up to this like 4x4, got out an axe, gave it to the guy that he came with, and then they left in separate vehicles.
That said, as rendezvous go, there are probably less conspicuous places than a busy motorway to make the handover, isn't there?
Well, I mean, a lot of people will see you.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, if you were going to do that handover, you wouldn't do it on the side of a motorway.
Oh, I see. I thought, okay. I know you used the word conspicuous, but for some reason I thought you were implying that no one's really going to notice.
No, I was implying the opposite.
Yes.
Yes.
No, many people will notice.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I always get confused with conspicuous, inconspicuous. I said less conspicuous. There are less conspicuous places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That is correct.
That is correct. Okay. Yeah. Because then you just say things before you do the maths in your head. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I suppose it would be. Yeah. If the ex was coming over to get their belongings, and included within that were weapons.
Yes.
What do you do with that? So it's like, I'll leave it in a location for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did he seem, reasonable?
Well, he seemed like a guy from Ponty,
There was a little bit of a range.
Okay.
Did he have a tattoo on his head or face?
He did have tattoos, I just don't think they were there.
Okay. Because that's a sure sign. If it's on his face, she's dead.
They were clearly tattooed.
Yeah.
No good can come from a man with tattoos on his face.
It can't. Because think of the person that would do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's a statement, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Not just like whatever the tattoo is supposed to symbolize, but the very I tolerated this.
I'm not saying I
allowed this to happen.
Yeah, I'm not being totally facetious. There's a writer called Theodore Dalrymple, and he's a doctor, and he has treated thousands and thousands of like inner city, working class, like low income people, and he's very quite refined, and he worked in prisons and all that sort of stuff, and he has said like the overlap of people that have tattoos on their face that are criminals.
Yeah,
it's like what is that? What's the? I've always thought that. What's the connection there?
Yeah,
I'm sure he explains it, but I can't remember what it is.
Well, outside of the fact that it might just be you're wearing your colours, as it were. Like, people know who you're in association with.
Well, that we don't really have that over here, do we?
No, but like I'm saying, like that could be one example. But I think for the most part, it is just I'm hard enough that I was able to tolerate having tattoos on my face.
Maybe. I suppose it's just a rejection of a social norm.
And also that
it's like, no, fuck you. I do what I want.
Completely anarchic.
Yeah. Whenever I'm in the pharmacy. And the heroin addicts come in for their methadone, they invariably have tattoos on their face.
Right.
That's pretty, you can rely on it.
Yeah. Because you got people who've got tattoos on like the side of their fingers, which I think is quite a sensitive place to have them.
Yeah, I'm not...
But like like you can barely see that.
And you can get tasteful versions of that. I don't think I've ever seen a tasteful face tattoo.
No.
It's just not the place to get it.
Even if the tattoo itself was tasteful,
I'm
sure the moment it goes on the face, it ceases to be that, right?
Oh yeah. The tattoo itself might be better would be better placed elsewhere.
Yeah.
But just the fact it's on the face, You get there's that cliche cut here.
Oh yeah, right across the neck. Yeah.
What would you think of someone who had that? Because you're meant to think, oh fucking hell.
Yeah.
But I just think you're ridiculous. Like I'm supposed to be intimidated by you.
I'm sure you can tell that person that when they have you strapped to a chair, tasing you with 1,000 volts or whatever it is.
You've added a whole context.
I have.
But
that is the type of person who would they'd strap you to a chair and
don't they even think it's a cliche? I know maybe they're not as worried about that sort of stuff as we are. But don't they think that's what everyone does? I'm not going to do that because I'm not a fucking pussy. Because I'm not going to toe the line. Like if you're going to have the whole idea of having tattoos upwards of your neck is giving a middle finger to society.
Yeah.
Then why would you then just become a sheep? Oh, but you're just doing what every other crim does. You've just joined a different.
Is it a similar thing with tribal tattoos though? I know they're not necessarily crims get those. It tends to be more just kind of
tribes.
Yeah. Well, not just tribes is the problem. It's more like guys oh look, I've got a tattoo.
Tribal tattoos are.
I sounded posh. These aren't posh people.
No.
It's more like oh mate, look at that.
Yeah. Well, tribal tattoos are just kind of the fashion now. They're not bourgeois, but No,
but that's the thing. So you're just gonna get a tribal tattoo then? Like everyone else.
Because people just like the artwork of it, don't they? I don't know. What's your general... I don't know if we talked about tattoos on the podcast. What's your general opinion of tattoos?
I've got nothing against tattoos.
Yeah.
I think some obviously look better than others.
Yes.
I think if you're... Be careful, because I think we know a guy who has this type... But tattoos where it's just they're just kind of placed on the body.
Yeah.
You've...
Arbitrary.
Yeah. You've got people who just like having tattoos, so you end up with this assortment of, even if they're themed around something, you've just got this assortment of tattoos clustered on your body. It looks messy. Whereas I kind of, if you're going to go all out with tattoos, if you're going to I'm going to have my arm tattooed, I like the ones which are sort of, it's all kind of one design. Yeah, you've got the big tribal thing that goes all the way down the arm, or you've got maybe you'll have one or two individual tattoos, but they're kind of framed with foliage or something.
Yeah,
I like that sort of stuff. But yeah, I personally don't think I would ever get a tattoo because I can't imagine anything that I would want.
There's no way you would ever get a tattoo. I'll know that for a fact. I know that for a fact.
Okay, well now I feel challenged. So maybe you want to explain yourself before I out of spite, end up getting a tattoo.
Because I think... I was thinking about this earlier. I thought Jordan would be a good fascist leader. Because you're really I genuinely think if the conditions of our existence were slightly different, you could be a Nazi. Just because... Not ideologically, necessarily.
I'm waiting for this to pay off. I am just letting you explain yourself.
Because you like order. I would say you're in certain respects.
And you don't?
No, I do, but not in the way that you do.
Right.
I like personal organization. I like my life to be organized. You like consistency to a crushing degree. So, if a TV show changes its opening titles... It will detract.
But no, that's not fair.
No, it is fair.
No, it's not fair at all.
Fair. Why is it not fair?
Because why would you do that? You know?
No, you orderliness. You're weighing personally not. It's not you're not a hoarder, but you're somewhere between. You're you're a person. You're not excessively orderly, and you're not excessively messy. You're just normal. You do hoard some things.
Some things.
And with editing and stuff, you do hoard data and footage.
Well, that's just good practice as an editor.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
I will concede that sometimes my get rid of it-ness works against me. Fine, yeah. But like I said, personal organisation. I like my own affairs to be in order.
Yeah.
But if a TV show changes its credits, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, right, okay.
But it does bother you.
Well, yeah, because why? Again, why?
Well, why not?
Well, okay, so the example I've got is Scrubs, okay?
Right.
First season of Scrubs, I think it's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Then they change it. At the beginning of season 2, they got that extended one with Janice is on the ladder and they're all walking through the hospital, and you're like, all right, it's different now. I guess I'll have to adjust.
Yeah.
And then they just change it back.
Yeah.
It's oh, right, so you didn't like that then?
Right.
So, okay, I've just got to put up with... I've got to readjust back now. But then they start it at, like, different points. So sometimes they'll let the whole thing play out. Sometimes they'll chop it in halfway through. Sometimes it'll only be the title and that's it.
Yes.
Community did this as well, where it would, like...
Most sitcoms do it.
Sometimes it would get rid of the last 2 notes of the song.
Yes.
Like, why?
I think pretty much all sitcoms do it because... they have to juggle the time.
Yeah.
And it's with 22 minutes, sometimes that's very tricky. Why is that a problem? I don't say because it's changing why is that a problem?
What specifically?
Well, changing the credits of a show, you don't like it.
No, that's slightly generalizing it.
Okay.
I don't...
Go on, explain what you don't like.
Like, if you change your title sequence, like, okay.
Right.
Like, if you change it from season to season, like, okay, that's just what shows do. Like, Blackadder's got a different one every season. Cause
that's not a good case.
No, that's an anthology show. Much like American Horror Story, they change it every season. It's like, okay, it probably wouldn't make sense to use the same one all the way through. It's just annoying. It's like a little new... what you've done now is you've spotlighted this as like this is like a big deal.
I'm not saying it's
We're going to have a conversation about this now.
Yeah. You do bring it up a lot, though.
Well, because it happens a lot. I bring it up when it happens.
Yeah, but I want to know why
it's not like when... I think once we basically just finished watching Justified.
Yeah.
We finished it like last night.
Yes.
And that is a show where, start to finish, its title sequence does not alter.
No.
It'll change the names of people if they go out in and out of the main cast, but it is from start to finish.
Yes.
And I think once I was like, oh, look at that, they kept the whole thing. Which I feel like was a fair comment to make, because the first season of Justified was a bit different from the rest of the show.
Yeah, but I'm not using Justified as my prime example here. Because
the reason I brought that up is because like it's not as if I'm like watching it like a hawk.
No,
I'm not like when a show is being consistent, it's like, see the way it's supposed to be. I did in that example because I felt it was appropriate.
Look, I don't think I'm over-exaggerating your relationship with it. All I've said is you don't like it when the title changes. And I think that's accurate.
I don't like it when it changes unnecessarily.
What do you mean unnecessarily?
Well, like with Scrubs, like, just decide, please.
Why does it matter, though? But why does it matter at all?
It matters, but it matters like a little bit.
Why?
Like it's one of those like little irritations, that I have.
Yeah,
it's like it'd be nice if you just did your title sequence.
Okay. Well, anyway, that instinct, combined with I think paranoia is the right word. Like no website can have your details, like things like that.
Again, I feel like that's
no, that is
no,
it's not. No, it's not. But most people don't do that.
Well, when the filthy crims steal your credit card information,
that's the risk you take.
I will laugh at you.
That's the risk you take, isn't it? But we were talking about this actually with COVID yesterday. It's like, but you have to accept some risk just to lead have a life. Because if you're always hedging your bets, you won't get in a car to drive. Point being, that's why I don't think you get a tattoo, because I don't think you could ever convince yourself that one you'd be happy with forever. You would go, no, because I'm going to be unhappy with it in a year and I can't get rid of it.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is the reason. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get a tattoo because how do I know that I'm going to want this?
Yes.
Like, I all the ones that, like, you could sort of say, right, that's probably going to be a permanent factor in my life. They're all kind of cliched as well. For example, the whole, like, getting your children's birthdays tattooed on you.
Right.
Like, people get that done. That's, like, a very cliche thing to do.
Right.
Like, I'm never not going to have those kids anymore.
Yes.
So, if I get a tattoo of them, it's like, oh, it's a pretty safe bet that this is always going to be...
They might end up being snowflakes, though. Then do you really want them
They might,
on you,
yeah. I mean, estrangement is not... is not a given.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I would... I probably wouldn't want to get a tattoo because how do I know that I'm going to like it?
To be fair, I think most people who are reticent about tattoos, it's for that exact reason. I just think with you, it also extends into other parts of your life.
It also belies the fact that I'm a Nazi.
That you could have been, yeah.
Right.
Look.
You're leaving out one crucial detail here, though, Sam, and that is that Hitler was a clean freak.
Yes.
You're a clean freak.
Yes. But I'm a clean freak about my environment. I don't want the country to be purified.
Oh, and Germany was in Hitler's environment.
Well, I'm talking about my house.
You're the one who brings up, like, whenever it comes up.
Yeah.
You're the one who always brings up that Hitler used the same chemicals they used to clean the factories to exterminate the Jews.
Right. What point does that make?
That makes the point that, like, all of Germany was his area.
Well, it was in the sense that he was the Führer of it. Yeah. But no, when I mean my area,
there was theming. There was like a consistent theme that he was weaving through all of his actions.
When I've gone,
like, I'm not, I'm cleaning up Germany. I'm not killing people.
Yeah,
I'm cleaning up the vermin.
But I have the instinct of personal order. You have the purifying instinct. Right. Things need to be pure. The titles can't change because it's an impurity.
Right.
Like you would mixed race couples. I see you turning your nose up. At the miscegenation, you're like, no.
Yeah, all right, you got me there.
The point is, when I've come over your house, for instance, and I've gone into your bedroom, have I tidied it up?
You've not.
Right. Then I'm not Hitler, am I?
Because in fairness, my bedroom does not need tidying up. It just needs a good hoover.
Well, you could do with throwing out a few things.
Oh, are we talking about the Lego? Is this going to talk about the Lego?
I was going to talk about the train tickets, but we...
Oh, right, okay. I don't know where they are, actually. Because I had to clean out my room in order to put the carpet down.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened to them.
The point is, I don't impose my own obsessive-compulsive idiosyncrasies on other people.
Well,
it's self-contained.
Well, I think, Sam, you're an idiosyncrasy.
Thank you.
That
means a lot.
For accusing me of being a Nazi.
Okay.
Because
I didn't accuse you of being a Nazi.
I'm annoyed when scrubs can't fucking commit.
I said you could have been in the time where they were, National Socialism and all that. Because you might have been. Look, what are the? I don't know.
But you can't do that. You can't be like, you might have been.
No.
Yeah, like anyone might have been.
Exactly.
At
Yeah. But I don't know what the odds.
Anyone might have been anything.
I don't know what the odds are of the whole good German thing. I don't know what the odds are of being a Nazi if you had been born. I mean, when I say you, like you are contingent on a whole set of circumstances and whatever that just wouldn't exist. I actually hate that question, to be fair. It's like, what would you have done if you were in the French Revolution? I wouldn't be me, would I? Because I would have been raised in a whole different set of...
Yeah.
But yeah, generally speaking, like as close to you as you could get. You either would have been a Nazi or you wouldn't. And I know that's a binary thing.
Yes.
But I don't know what the odds are for like people becoming Nazis when they were like, what was the percentage that supported? I mean, he was voted in.
He was voted in.
It wasn't like he seized the power, he was voted in, so...
and there's going to be there's going to be good Germans in the sense that they didn't overthrow the Nazis, but there's probably going to be a large group of people, again, the silent majority, we bring it up a few times in a modern context.
But I don't know.
But you're going to have people who were like, I'm not going to throw Hitler out of office.
Yeah.
But this whole, like, killing the Jews thing, I don't know if this is...
Well, that is the good German. It's like, I'll put up with it.
Yeah.
Because I want an easy life.
And maybe that is more British sensibility speaking.
Yeah.
Like, Germans, they like to get things done.
Well, they are orderly, yeah.
They are orderly. Yeah. They're like, we're going to do a thing. Oh, Berlin has been completely destroyed because of the war and the Berlin Wall's come down. Let's rebuild it in like a decade.
Right.
They're good at that.
Do you think you would have voted for Hitler?
Well, in fairness, I don't know what the other options were.
Yeah, I don't know much, to be fair, about the pre-Hitler.
Because if you were to show me Donald Trump in isolation, for example,
yes,
like there was this guy once called Donald Trump, and he blah 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 blah. Let's do the pop interpretation of Donald Trump.
Right.
That he's like a racist who hates Mexicans and he wants
rapist.
He rapes women. He wants all the gays to be dead, and
right.
he likes money.
Yes,
he wants all your money.
Yeah,
now.
Right.
That guy.
Yes.
Would you vote that guy into power? I would go, no, he sounds like a lunatic.
Yeah.
Okay. The other person that you could have voted for is Hillary Clinton, and she blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And you're like, right, okay, I see the difficulty now.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I don't know what the other options were.
Yeah.
And obviously, hindsight's 2020. Probably all of them would have been better. But I don't know, like, because I think he was 33 that he was elected in. So there was a spell before you went totally bonkers. And I don't know how he came across, before he was voted in.
Well, I mean, people always say about him, don't they? He was like a magnificent public speaker.
Of course, great orator. I don't know. I think that there was an anti-Semitic platform. I think that was part of it. Like, communism, I think, mainly. Like, there's gonna be none of that here.
Yeah.
But I don't know how virulent that was. Whether it's like people like, I think he might be anti-Semitic, or whether that was very clear-cut. If it had been clear-cut, absolutely not. If that wasn't the case, I think I might have. I don't know. I might have. I don't know. It's not like you can foresee World War II.
I would want to know what my other options were before I honestly answer that question.
Yeah, I'm not saying I would, but I'm also not above saying
because it goes back to that bit in Another Round, doesn't it? Where he gives the kids, he doesn't name the names, but he gives the kids the example of here is Winston Churchill, Theodore Roosevelt, and Adolf Hitler. And he describes Churchill and Roosevelt as in a very unflattering light. Yeah. And then he portrays Hitler in a very flattering light, and obviously they all go for Hitler, and he's like, you voted Hitler in. Yeah, racists.
Yes.
Right. I know the context there is like, everyone's not quite what they seem. You need to weigh up the pros and cons, and I know it was kind of through the context of alcohol. Yeah.
Well,
I would want to know who his opponents were.
I'm not saying now that I would have voted for Hitler. I'm just saying I'm really trying to think of what it would have been like at the time. And
yeah, you also need to put it in the context of the country, don't you?
And the country, like I'm just basically imagining him as someone who came along and seemed very orderly.
Yeah,
and that would have appealed to me. Like with knowing nothing else.
In a time
I'm
of
torn
potentially because I don't know, but
disorder,
like in a time of disorder.
On the one hand you have that, but like you don't know, you could have voted for him. But because no one can foresee, like had Donald Trump actually been Hitler, no one who voted for him, or not many people who voted for him, would have wanted or foreseen that coming. But then I've said before, I think, the whole BLM thing, the fact that everybody our age is on that train and we are not. I definitely have a contrarian, iconoclastic streak as well. So I think I said to a friend of ours who, I can't mention by name because he hasn't been on the podcast. I said this whole like George Floyd thing makes me think we wouldn't have been Nazis in World War II. And he just went, yeah. As if you had exactly the same thought kind of thing.
How do you mean?
Because everyone's just jumped on the bandwagon of like,
Oh, I see, okay.
And we are going, hang on. I'm not just going to go along with this. Okay. Something's off about this, you know? Like critical thinking sort of thing. So I'd like to think I wouldn't have been a Nazi. Okay. But I'm not so, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm so valiant that I wouldn't have been a good German either. I might have just thought, I'll just keep quiet.
Yeah. Just want a quiet life.
I don't know. I'll never have to know.
Okay.
Fortunately.
So you will never know
if I would have voted for Hitler.
If you would have voted for Hitler and would have been a Nazi, but you're pretty sure I would have been.
I think there's a good chance, yeah.
Okay. Well, cheers for that.
It's all right.
Okay. It's a bit late to be doing the coming up.
I suppose so, yeah.
I mean, we've already mentioned that we were doing 3 film reviews.
Yeah.
So if we do indeed stick to that, that's already kind of been done. But for the sake of the audience, in case we do end up going on another tangent, shall we do the coming up now?
Okay.
Okay, so coming up on today's episode,
a discussion about pets and a fiery argument,
a review of Pig and a fierier argument,
a review of Limbo, no argument,
and a review of the Suicide Squad. Also no argument, I guess.
So, should we do a film review?
Let's do the first film review.
I'm thinking Pig.
Are you often thinking of pigs?
The product thereof.
Ah, the bacon.
Yeah, not often pigs. I do like pigs.
The ham and the bacon.
I think someone said to me the other day, what animals do you like? I think I only like 3 animals.
Okay.
But I actually can't remember the third.
Right, okay.
Oh, no, I can't. Sorry. Dogs, pigs, and tortoises.
Oh, right.
They're the only 3 animals I can bear. Anything else can fuck off.
Okay. So, like, your ideal pet?
A tortoise.
Would be a tortoise.
Well, no, a dog. Like a big, stupid dog.
But even if you were to do the whole blue sky, no restriction, any existent animal.
Yeah, like I could have a shark or something.
Yeah.
No, because why would you? Like, why would you have a gorilla or a zebra? Like, it's not going to derive any entertainment from it. What would you do with it, though?
He would come in and he'd sit down and you'd be like, oh my God, he's sitting down.
You're having a laugh.
Yeah.
It's not coming into the house. I mean, I don't know. I'd quite like to be in the proximity of a docile gorilla. but you'd never trust it, would you?
This is the thing. Like I said, the whole blue sky, you can have whatever pet you want.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of assuming as part of that is that...
included within that is they're well-behaved.
Yeah. Well, the very fact that you can keep them as a pet means that they're...
Well, I mean, because pet could be you keep them in a pen, you know, or a cage, but they're still yours. So,
well, you've got animals.
How much are you changing? Because if you're saying it's a gorilla,
don't do
no. Listen, it's a fair.
You always know.
No, it's a fair question. It's really a fair question, and this is why it's a fair question. If you say, "Oh, it's a gorilla, but it's like well behaved," right? Okay, then you're changing what that animal is. So it's like saying a dragon, but it doesn't breathe fire or anything.
Sam.
No, it's fair because if you're asking me what animal I want, then I have to take everything into account of what that animal is. Like, oh, it's a shark, but it doesn't have teeth. Well, then I don't want a shark then.
No, it doesn't. It just means like, what animal do you like, and that you would want to be in the company?
Yes, generally speaking. But then you said included within that is that like whatever the animal is, it's well behaved.
Yeah, I only said that because I wanted to avoid you going, well, you couldn't actually keep a gorilla because they rip your arms off or something.
Well,
and now instead of that, you've just gone, well, all right, well, if it's a domesticated gorilla, then that's obviously not a gorilla, so I can't answer that question.
Well, yeah. It's either like, what pet would you actually want, or a whole set of caveats. So if you're asking me what pet I actually want, it's a dog.
Yeah, but that's fine, because you could have a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if you could have any animal you wanted,
right,
and you would allow them to keep you as a pet, you would be allowed to keep them as a pet.
Yes.
And keeping them as a pet,
and they'd be well behaved,
would not kill you.
Right.
What animal would you want?
So if I did get a gorilla, it could just be in the house.
Well, you like a pet, yeah.
But you say house, right? Like a pet.
Yeah.
A dog's different from a cat's different from a goldfish.
It is.
So there's not like one unifying thing.
You keep it like an animal.
But animals are different, Jordan. It's not like one fits all.
Oh my god,
thing.
Sam, what animal?
I said a dog. I answered your question.
You did.
What do you want from me?
All I want to know.
Right. Let's just go with the gorilla example. Okay. Right. So the first caveat is it's a gentle gorilla. Right. It's not going to kill me.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, your pets don't typically kill you, do they?
Jordan, we're talking now about the sharks and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing, also, pets do sometimes kill people.
Yeah, sometimes, but it's not like...
It's not the norm, no.
Yeah.
The gorilla, so is it going to shit in the house?
Well, probably.
Right, well, I don't want a gorilla then.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
A dog will shit in the house, though.
But it's a bit easier to clean up, I would have thought.
Possibly.
And it's not going to fling it at me.
Do gorillas do that, or is that more of a...
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest.
An ape thing.
I mean, if it did that, would it still count as docile is the question. It won't hurt you, but it will fling its...
Well, I mean, the family cat that we've got at the moment, like, bites us.
Your cat, yeah. It bites you.
Yeah. Like, if you pet it for too long, it bites you.
See, why would you have that as a pet, then?
Because you can occasionally pet it. And also, I found a genuine use for it last night.
Did you use the mop up something?
No. Although it's actually very... Because I said before, it's a Maine Coon. So it's a very hairy animal.
Yeah.
So you could... potentially
stick a stick up its arse.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It eats spiders.
It eats. Oh, you don't like spiders?
No. Okay. So if there's a spider in my room, before I'd either have to just get the Hoover and Hoover it up, or if it was very late, I'd have to just sort of either very precariously like get like a bucket or something, and try and scoop it into the bucket and then like throw it out, or just like hope that it doesn't move all night. Whereas now I can just bring the cat in, get the cat to swat it off the ball, and it'll just eat it.
Right. What do you mean get the cat to swat it? Because you did a motion as if you were holding up the cat.
Yes.
Oh, right, and it just swats it off the wall.
Yeah.
It just does that, like a little robot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then you drop it next to the spider, and it'll just eat the spider.
It eats the spider.
She did throw up the other day, so I don't know if it's actually... I should be doing this.
Yeah, venomous spiders.
Yeah.
Well, I went to bed the other night, and I pulled back the cover, and a massive spider crawled out.
Oh, no.
So there was a spider in my bed.
No.
So just think of that, Jord.
Yeah.
That could happen to you, couldn't
That could happen to me. That didn't happen to me once.
Did it?
Not my bed, but I was lying on the sofa and I had the blanket over me, and all of a sudden I just felt something run up my leg, and I looked, it was a big spider.
Big spider. Did you scream?
I shot up.
Right.
I was like, no! Something like that.
I actually,
no.
Earlier today, they're doing some building at the back of the house, and I overheard one builder, they were drilling, and a loud banging, and then stopped suddenly, and one guy went, ah! And the other guy went, whoa, what's happening? And he went, fucking massive spider. And then there was a long silence. And then the other one went, oh, don't do that. And like he was clearly going to kill it. And he went, no, fuck it. like was really angry at the spider.
Don't deserve to live.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, no, fuck it. Like it does not. Yeah, it was great.
Well, it's nice to know, be reminded that it's not. A lot of people.
It's a common phobia.
Yeah,
I don't know why I don't have it, because it's not like I am squeamish about. I squirm around animals generally. I don't like most animals.
Well, I mean, with spiders, I'm not sure if I've said it before.
Yeah.
Or if what I'm about to say is different from what I've said before, if I have said it. But I obviously don't like the sensation of a spider crawling on you.
No.
They're weird looking. But also, I think it's
relative to what?
Well, a thing that doesn't look weird.
But why do they look weird?
I don't know.
Because they've been around longer than we have, right? So,
yeah, they have. Yeah. But, like, look at it.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like us. But then again, nor does a snake.
No.
Do you have a thing about snakes?
I don't have a thing about snakes.
I do have a thing about snakes.
I'm sure if a snake were to just sort of slither in through the window...
Yes. You wouldn't be cool with it.
No. But if I was in the proximity of a snake...
Yeah.
And that was my intention... I'd be fine with it.
Right.
They've got, like, in the garden centre, pet centre, near where I live, they've got these, like, fucking massive cobras. They're, like, their bodies are, like, thicker than my legs.
Yeah.
They're probably, like, I'll approach with caution.
Yeah. Well, I was made to hold one when I was a kid.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. Like, I just didn't want to do it. I was, like, 3 or 4. And it's like, get your picture taken with a snake around your neck. What child wants to do that? I know they're like, reckless and timorous. Like, that's the two. But... what kid wants a fucking snake around their neck when you're that young? That, like, just being forced into it by my mother.
Well, I mean, the other thing as well is, when are you likely to encounter a snake before the occasion where they go, oh, take a picture with the snake?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a whole new concept to you.
Yeah.
It's like, right, this...
instantly get used to it.
This thing is alive. It doesn't have legs. It doesn't have arms. It's just staring at me. It looks wet, but it's dry.
Yeah.
And you want me to hold it?
It's it's just counter-revolutionary. Like, there's a whole... snakes means a thing you can't trust. You know, like the whole Adam and Eve thing. I think...
any animal that Ireland don't have, I don't trust inherently.
Yeah. Well, exactly, yeah. I think that, you know, people say, the reason snakes aren't trusted, as it were, is because of Adam and Eve. But surely it's the other way around. It's we knew by then that snakes can be trusted, and we codified that into the story.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, okay, I knew what a snake was, but all of a sudden you've got to get used to the idea, accept it's going to be put around you, get used to that, and then be so okay, or pretend to be so okay with it, that you can take a decent picture. It's kind of torture. Because you can't actually respond. Not only do you have to do it, you can't respond organically. You have to pretend to be okay with it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, being in like gay in the 70s or something.
Well, they were holding snakes as well.
They were holding snakes as well, yeah.
Not quite torture, but I know what you mean about it. It's a lot to process at once. You're pushing the boundary of acceptability faster than we can keep up with it.
Right.
It's like this creature I didn't even know was real until just now. You now want me to hold it?
Yeah.
Oh, and you're telling me that if I move too quickly, it might bite me, or it might just curl itself around me and squeeze me to death.
I genuinely think that's like what trauma is, right? It's something like where you suddenly have to deal with a situation you hadn't even thought about that is urgent. Do you know what I mean? Like, apparently most PTSD comes from... most people think it's like the horror of, like, having to kill somebody. It's actually encountering malevolence. It's when you see something evil. Like, that's what causes a lot of PTSD.
I thought... but I wasn't part of it as well, that you're not necessarily traumatized by the action. You're traumatized by the fact that you did it.
Yeah,
like,
of course,
you didn't think you were capable of doing this thing that you just did. And that kind of dissonance is traumatic.
Yeah, so that's got to be what trauma. So basically, I could have been traumatized by that snake.
Right, okay.
And I don't like them, but like, I'm not like, I can look at them and everything.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, around animals, I like dogs, but I don't like small dogs.
No, well, no, the people who do, they're lying, right?
They're just accessories, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like a handbag. It's not
like a corgi, right?
Yeah.
Is that like... No, a pug is smaller than a corgi, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't like pugs, though.
Well, pugs are weird because they became, like, cute.
Never understood
even though
that.
they're empirically not.
Yeah, they are the ugliest dog.
They're very, very ugly dogs. But yeah, somehow I assume because they're fat, that's what's cute, right?
Yeah, because they're smushy.
Yeah,
you can grab their skin.
Yeah, they're smushy and they're fat and they're very, very feeble.
And they're underdogs, as 'twere.
Yes.
You know, because they're ugly. It's like, oh, look at that. Like, he can't help it, you know.
He didn't mean it. He didn't mean anything by it.
If only women treated us the same way, Joe.
Well, yeah.
Were I only a pug? That's how low my self-esteem is now. I'm jealous of a pug.
If I were a pug, you'd take me home, maybe. I don't know.
You just squish my face.
Squish my face.
Put a bag over my head. The dream. Living the dream.
In the dream. Put me in a bag. Go on, please.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like birds. Any bird. I don't like birds flying around my head. I'm not okay with that.
Okay. I don't know. I don't feel like I've spent much time around birds.
Okay. Yeah, don't like birds.
I like the idea of some birds.
Them birds being...
like a raven, because they're apparently very clever.
Right.
So I would like to see a raven be clever. I think that would be kind of cool.
There are animals I admire. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Because I feel like most smart animals, right, they have this kind of air of wisdom about them, right?
Like a gorilla?
Well, yeah, kind of. An elephant,
they can look sad gorillas, I think.
Like an elephant, a whale... Not so much a dolphin. Dolphins, they're kind of like... They're intelligent, but like to our detriment. Because they're mischievous. They're up to something, those dolphins.
Well, they protect us, don't they? They do. So the question
is... I think whales more so, but yeah, I think dolphins...
Do they? I think dolphins protect us more. I could be wrong. But I don't know. I mean, like...
No, dolphins do it as well, but I think whales have more of a tendency to...
Yeah, I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, because dolphins rape, right?
They rape?
Yeah.
Do they... What, each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also I think maybe like it could happen to a person.
I don't know. I remember the same friend referenced earlier sending me an article about how to have sex with a dolphin.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which was, I think, the most grotesque thing I'd ever read up to that point.
Was it like...
I'm not going to go into it.
Shape of Water, where there was like a compartment that like opened and it folded out.
Well, it obviously explains exactly what you should do to a dolphin. And I'm not going to go into it. As twere.
You fucking tease. You can't bring that up and not tell us how to fuck a dolphin.
Well, Google it if you want to know.
No, why do we have to foot the bill? You did the homework. Well, I read the article.
This was like 10 years ago. I can't remember all the ins and outs. Okay. Again, as twere. But yeah, I suppose so. Like I mean, I don't think elephants have an air of wisdom. They have an air of dignity.
Yeah.
I don't know about...
Maybe dignity is the word I'm thinking of. They basically,
Majesty, like there's something...
Yeah, I mean, you think of a smart animal, like a gorilla or an ape, or an orangutan in particular. Yeah. Why did you laugh at that?
Well, I don't think... I certainly don't think wisdom about an orangutan, because look at it.
Maurice in Planet of the Apes looks quite wise.
Yeah, they can talk, though.
Even before he was talking.
Advantage. They don't look wise, do they? They look goofy. Ooh, like... No, I can't say it. You know what I was going to say? You
just did like a monging voice.
You know what I was going to say, though?
What were you going to say, Sam?
Because that's... Mongoloids look like orangutans.
Okay, well, you can't say that.
That's the closest thing they look like, isn't it? That's why... If people with Down syndrome look like an animal, it's an orangutan.
Right.
Let's face it.
Okay.
They do, don't they? Ooh, it's the...
Well, Sam, I think you're being very unfair to orangutans right now.
I'm not slagging off orangutans. Like, they all look like that. Yeah. So, like, to them, it's not Down syndrome, it's up syndrome. Right. They all look like that.
Okay.
So, one that looked like we do would be their Down syndrome orangutan.
Down syndrome orangutan.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I don't get wisdom from orangutans.
You get something, though, right? You look at an orangutan and you're like, all right, you know something.
I don't know. I tend not to anthropomorphize animals.
Okay.
So
what have you been doing with your life then?
Oh, I love it when they are.
Yeah.
I love it when they are. I just don't tend to like, oh, look at that thing's sad. But like, no, it's not. It doesn't understand what that is.
But like whenever we talk about dogs, like you getting your eventual dog.
Yes.
You say you want a dog that looks like it doesn't know what it's doing. You want a dog that looks like it's going to walk into the wall. Because it doesn't know any better. But that's not anthropomorphizing. That's literal, isn't it? I want a dog that looks like it would walk into a... That's just an aesthetic thing. No, I want a dopey dog. Yeah.
But dogs...
That is kind of anthropomorphizing.
Kind of, yeah. It kind of is. Yeah. But, I mean, some dogs are dumber than other dogs.
Well, yeah.
And dogs do experience joy and affection for their owners. And that's kind of all I need, really.
Right.
This thing about... We talk about pets is... What's the purpose of a pet? What's the function of a pet? What would you say?
Oh, what would I say?
Yeah. What's the point of a pet?
Well, it's sort of to Are we thinking beyond the whole it's to teach your kids about death thing?
Yes. Yeah, thinking beyond that.
Yeah. Oh, it's just a thing to love, isn't it?
And to love you.
Yeah, it's an alive thing for you to love and to love you.
Something that's kind of relatively low maintenance, species depending.
Yeah.
But you take care of it and it rewards you with affection. It's an antidote to complicated relationships. It's like, I don't have to think about this. I feed it and it loves me. Like, that's all. Right. So why do people get cats and snakes?
I've told you this with cats, though, because the perk of a cat, the point of a cat,
is to eat spiders.
Is to eat spiders for you.
Yeah.
But more so than that, it like a dog just loves you, right?
If you treat it well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you don't kick it in the face or anything.
Yeah. Even then, actually, I think they pitifully still.
Oh, he's had a bad day. You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
It's like an abusive relationship.
Yeah, to think that a dog would forgive you for such a thing.
Yeah, I think it would, though.
Oh.
I know, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't know any better.
I mean, I suppose it is worse thing when you, depending on the dog, isn't it? Because like if you kick like a, what's the really ratty one that nobody likes, Chihuahua?
Yeah.
Kick a Chihuahua in the face, you're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I guess you shouldn't, but if you're gonna kick a dog,
if you're gonna kick a dog, yeah.
But if you kick a golden retriever in the face, that's just that's not okay.
The thought of that made me squirm. Yeah.
That's like kicking your grandmother in the face.
Well, that's a big capital offence, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Kicking a Labrador in the face. Like, what are you? What's his dog in Tyrannosaur? I can't remember what breed it is. He kills that at the start.
It's a bulldog, right? Or it's a bulldog type of dog.
I think it's bigger than that.
Like a terrier?
Well, he kicks it to death anyway, doesn't he? At the start of the film. And then he kills another dog as well.
It's an aggressive-looking dog.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the point, that you're supposed to be... Initially, you're supposed to think the dog is dangerous, and then you realise that...
I don't think so, because he ties it up outside, and then when he goes into a pub, and then he gets it, and it's just barking, and so he kicks it.
Okay.
And it kills it.
Right, okay.
An accident, well, like an act of rage, but it wasn't,
I think I had a different dog, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. So, cats...
Yeah, the point of a cat is that it doesn't... You have to earn its love.
But you don't, though. It never loves you. A cat never loves you. If you feed it, it will return.
Yes.
But it doesn't love you. It won't comfort you.
Some do.
No. A dog, you only have to go... Every dog my family's ever had, like, it's always been the same little magic trick that you show the kids, is you go, put your head in your hands, and a dog runs up to you and starts, like, agitating you. Because it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's up? Cats won't do that.
No.
If you go in front of a cat, he'll just walk into the other room. He's going to take a while to feed me now.
Yeah.
I better go forage. Cats are scum. I really don't. My bias is that I have cat PTSD. So maybe I'm rationalizing what's like a visceral thing. But I don't think I am. I think that it's a fair case to be made against the cat, beyond my own bias. Is they're not affectionate. So why would you have them as a pet?
Well, they can be affectionate, though.
They're not. They don't love you. They will sometimes concede to being petted.
Yes.
But they don't like you for it. The fact you said whenever you pet it, it bites you.
Yeah, eventually. Not like immediately.
Well, there you go then, until it's bored with you.
Yeah.
You want that as a pet?
Well, it's like a person, isn't it?
Well, I wouldn't want a person as a pet.
No, but like if you pet a person too long, they'll be like, what are you doing?
But this is kind of the point, isn't it? That we said the point of a pet is that it kind of circumnavigates the complexity of a human relationship.
Well, ultimately, yeah, like if you're going to talk in broad general terms, yes, that's sort of the point of a pet. Is you want a thing that just loves you and that you can love, and that's all okay.
Yes.
But different people want different things from a pet, don't they? That's why some people have, like, fucking spiders.
Well, they're not pets. Like, I think we need to come up with a different terminology for that, because it's not a pet.
Yeah.
Because pet, obviously, it comes with the verb. Something that you can pet. And I suppose you could pet a big spider. But it just seems like the wrong word.
Yeah.
They're ornaments. They're furniture.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I've got a snake. Do you ever take... No, I can't take it out. I can't do anything with it. I just have to drop a mice into it.
You can pet a snake.
Well, it depends on the snake.
Yeah.
But, like, they're literally cold-blooded. What are you getting out of that relationship other than, you're the guy that has a snake.
Yeah. Well, it's that as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you could say the same about a tortoise. Like, what's the benefit of petting a tortoise?
Well, I wouldn't want to pet a tortoise. That, for me, kind of would be an accessory. Because I want to be known as the writer that has the tortoise.
Right.
And also, I'll never have to deal with the grief of it dying. It will outlive me.
Yeah.
So it's a selfish thing, really.
That's a thought. Where do all the tortoises whose owners have died go?
Oh, right, okay. So where do tortoises go after they die, you know? Like tortoise heaven?
Yeah, I mean, that as well. Yeah. But yeah, like...
Well, assume they just get put into, like... what do you call it? Like not a pen. What are they called? Like shelters.
Pound.
Like rescue shelters kind of thing.
Yeah. Like a pound.
Yeah.
The tortoise pound.
A tortoise pound, yeah. Yeah.
Where all the dangerous tortoises go.
Yeah. They've got those, what are they called?
The muzzles on the tortoise, yeah. All the tortoises with the asbos and all that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You never see an old tortoise.
The ones that come out of their shells. Go on. Because, like, coming out of your shell? No?
No.
Don't understand?
Not quite.
Tortoises have shells. And, you know, the whole...
I understand that bit.
Right, okay.
But what's coming out of your shell as opposed to...
Well, it means, like, we know what coming out your shell means.
Like outgoing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't feel like it's...
Oh, move on.
I don't...
Do you know what? You do this all the time. You reckon that I ruin hypotheticals all the time. Well, I'm just trying to clarify what the parameters of the hypothetical are.
But what you've just done is implied that, like, an outgoing tortoise is worthy of jailing. And I don't like outgoing people, but I wouldn't throw them in jail.
No, not outgoing. It was a flippant remark to cap it off because they have shells. And it's like the ones that are a bit... what would the word be? Not outgoing, because, that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, too much. The ones that aren't cloistered.
But again, this is just...
But here's the thing. If I did this to you, every flippant joke you make, and I questioned it, we'd never get anything done. But I don't. Like, right, that didn't work, but I'll let it pass.
I feel like this joke... I'm within my rights to question it.
I totally concede it was not a brilliant joke.
Yeah.
But I would never shine a spotlight on it. Because A, that derails the conversation. B, it decelerates.
Yeah.
And C, like, it's just correcting somebody, basically. And again, I think
well,
that's
it's worth noting that I was not doing that.
What were you doing?
I didn't understand it.
Oh, I see.
So I was clarifying. It was like, what do you mean by that?
Right, okay.
And then when you explained it to me, it was like, oh, okay, I still don't quite get it, because my understanding of it...
Yes.
In my understanding of the...
No, you're right.
It doesn't, like...
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right, yeah. But that's something that you should just let go in the future. For future reference.
So if I don't understand something, I should just, like, assume that what you said was good and just, like, let you have it.
If you don't understand something, then by all means question it. If it's just something that doesn't quite work, drop it. Just let it go. Just drop it.
Right.
Let it go.
But what if I need to question it to find out whether it works or not?
Did you really have no inkling about what that was meant to be?
What I thought was coming out of your shell was like, oh, it's like an outgoing tortoise.
Yeah.
It's a social tortoise.
Yes.
But why would we throw them in an impound if they were social? That's not a jailable offence.
Right.
I should clarify this with Sam. And then I got my fucking head bit off.
But again, don't you... I sometimes wonder this with you. Did you do no mental arithmetic? Or like, okay, right.
No, I just outlined my mental arithmetic.
But you didn't go that one step further, which is like, okay, you said come out of the shell, but that means...
Oh, all outgoing people...
No.
That always leads to crime. That's clearly what he means.
Let me finish my point. He said the ones that come out of the shell, right, tortoises have shells, but that just means, coming out of your shell means being social. I must have just... Yeah, that was a bit of a misfire, I think. I don't think that quite worked. What do you really think I could have provided an explanation that made you go, oh yes, that really actually works?
You might have done, hence me asking.
Right. But
maybe I've missed something, or maybe there is an extra step Sam has taken that once explained to me elevates the joke.
Okay, well, here's my advice then.
Right.
Think.
I did think.
In future, think more.
I thought, well, Sam wouldn't just tell a bad joke.
Well, I often do.
What does he know that I don't?
Right.
And now I'm getting told off for assuming the best of you.
I'm telling you off for the double standard that I'm perceiving. Just because I get annoyed.
Yeah.
The most, I think, when I'm not afforded the same benefit that I afford others.
Right.
So in this particular instance, what occurred to me was Jordan often says things that don't make sense. and I never take him up on it.
Okay.
And he's doing that to me now. Okay. So it felt unfair.
Right.
So that's where the biting the head off came from. If you didn't understand it, that's fair. This isn't a big deal. My point is, in the future, just like...
Do you see what it's like? Do you see what it's like when someone brings up something that isn't a big deal and is like, right, explain yourself?
What is this reference thing?
The title sequences of shows changing.
Oh, I see. But that's not a big deal.
No, it's not. That's my point. It's not a big deal, but you bringing it up and being like, explain yourself, makes it seem like it's a big deal.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
I very clearly, with no exaggeration, said you don't like it when titles change. Is that a wrong thing? Is that an inaccurate statement?
That is not an inaccurate statement.
Then my follow-up question was, why?
Yes.
And therefore giving you the opportunity to fully expound upon your thesis about why it's a bad thing.
The burden is on me,
right?
Not only to explain myself, but to establish a position in which, yes, it's wrong that shows are changing their title sequences.
But it's not a big deal.
I'm not like, oh, it's empirically wrong. It just irritates me.
Yes.
If other people don't hold this position, fine.
Okay.
I'm just irritated by it.
Okay, but yeah, and then it would be why. Like, what is it about it that irritates you?
But that's the thing, you can't just leave it alone, can you?
No, because that's not answering the question.
No, it is. It irritates
no, it's not.
me.
Why don't you like, I don't know, any... What's your problem with abortion? Oh, I'm against it.
Yeah.
Why? Why must you question why? There must be a reason
the
to irritate
difference there, though, is abortion is a complicated issue. Yes,
and I'm not saying this is
profound implications.
I'm not saying this is as complicated.
Not only within its own field, but like on a societal
scale. Stop being facetious. I'm not saying
TV shows.
I'm not saying it's the same level.
It irritates me when a TV show.
There is a deeper level of thinking to be done about that.
It irritates me when a TV show.
You can't say I don't like the bad thing because it's bad. Sequence. What are you, Dan Brown?
It's small. It's on a small enough scale that it irritates me. Is a perfectly legitimate answer.
Well, this just begets an absence of self-analysis.
How?
Of self-examination. Because if something irritates me, I tend to then think about why it irritates me. Don't you?
Well, I don't know what are you doing?
When something irritates me, I then go, why is that bothering me?
Okay.
What is it about it that bothers me? Now, some things are just impulsive, visceral, people chewing noisily. I don't know why that bothers me. It's probably something deeply ingrained about like social behavior.
So it's okay for you to have something.
No, I'm saying some things are. Some things I can't put my finger on.
Okay.
This is quite a cerebral. This isn't like a gut. Oh, I don't like that. There must be a reason that it irritates you.
Well, there's obviously a reason why chewing loudly irritates you.
Yeah, but I think, given the fact that irritates basically everybody except the people that do it, there's obviously something deep in people that does that.
Okay.
I have thought about why it irritates me, because I've been exposed to it quite a lot, but I can't figure it out. But I have thought about it.
Right.
That's all I'm asking you to do.
And you're assuming I haven't thought about it.
Well, you're just saying it irritates me. And when I'm saying, well, why? You're saying, well, why does that matter?
Yeah, because I thought about it. And I realised, it just irritates me. I'm not quite sure why.
You've just looped back to the non-explanation.
It's not a non-explanation.
Of course it is.
It irritates me is an explanation. You might not be satisfied
an explanation
with it. It might not be...
An explanation needs the word because in it.
Because it irritates me.
No, what's that? It irritates me because it irritates me.
I don't like it when shows change their title sequences... The reason slightly,
right,
and especially when Scrubs happens, where they can't seem to decide on what they're doing, because it irritates me.
Can you sit there, Jordan, honestly tell me that you're content with a tautology being the answer to that question?
It's not a tautology.
Yes, it is. It irritates me because it irritates me.
No, you're doing that.
That's what you said.
I just used the sentence.
I said you've looped back to the non-explanation. You said no, that is the explanation because it irritates me.
Yeah.
So. Okay, what comes before because?
I don't like this thing.
It irritates me.
Because it irritates me.
So I don't like it because I don't like it.
No, you're doing that.
Irritate is basically a synonym for I don't like. It annoys.
Not necessarily.
Essentially, it is.
You can not like something and it not annoy you.
Like what?
Well, this is coming from the person who thinks that like only sad people can be angry or whatever it is.
What?
What was your thing?
All the anger comes from sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no anger without sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disprove that.
And I'm supposed to trust that, am I?
Well, I think it's pretty accurate.
How?
What do you mean, how?
Well, you haven't explained yourself, Sam.
Well, think of any time you've been angry.
Yeah.
And I can tell you why there was a sadness beneath that.
Okay.
I can't do the reverse.
Right. So how do you know that's not your fault?
What do you mean?
How do you know it's not just a failure on your part that you're not able to do it?
It might be, but it's my thesis, isn't it?
And my thesis is, it irritates me when shows do this thing.
No. Here's the thing. Because Jermaine Greer, we were watching an interview, and she said that she thinks suicide is an act of, like violent suicide, it's an act of anger, not sadness. And I said, well, I think anger comes from sadness. Like, you're not really... Anger isn't the bedrock emotion. It's actually... you feel betrayed, or like you trusted somebody and whatever. And I think that's a reasonable position. I'm open to being disproven. I don't know how that's in the same ballpark as you refusing to explain why something irritates you.
I'm not refusing to explain it. I've explained it to you, and you're dissatisfied with the explanation.
Right, explain it to me one more time.
It irritates me.
Why? Because
it irritates me, Sam.
That's a tautology.
It's not. I'm repeating myself. It's not a tautology.
Yes, it irritates you because it irritates you.
No, you're doing that.
That's what you said. I'm just putting the sentences together.
No, I'm not. I'm not continuing the point. I'm restating the point.
Right. Does an inconsistency in opening credits irritate you?
It does.
Why?
I've told you why.
No, you haven't. Tell me again then.
I don't like it.
Because
it's irritating.
You just done it again. Does it irritate you? Yes. Why? Because it's irritating.
Yes.
Right.
Do irritating things not irritate?
Yes. But there's generally a reason they're irritating.
Okay.
What's the reason it's irritating?
It irritates me.
Why?
It's an irritation.
Why is it an irritation?
Do you not think it's an irritation?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, but that's you. I'm talking like
normal people I'm the one that you asked.
No, I'm asking normal people now.
No. I bet you know. Like, no way in hell.
Okay.
Do most people care?
Most people notice, though, I think.
Yeah, but so? What's that got to do with it?
Well,
I've noticed something.
Yeah.
Equals, I don't like it. Does everything you noticed annoy you?
No.
Right. Don't be an idiot then. The inconsistency in credits bothers you.
Yes.
If you find it irritating.
Yes.
Why do you find it irritating?
Why do you care?
I'm just interested.
Okay.
But see, this is what a bad arguer does. When you can't argue, you start going, but why do you care about it anyway? You're the left. You're the left.
Sam.
Oh, no, women can be men. I don't know about that. Oh, why does it matter? You said it. You said it. And I just asked the question.
Yeah, but you brought it up.
What do you mean? The whole TV...
Yeah, you brought it up.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, in this instance... But I don't think this far into the conversation, I don't think it's fair to go, why do you even care? That's not an answer to the question.
Right.
Are you going to bother attempting an answer, or an actual answer?
An actual answer?
Yeah.
Well, it links back to what you were saying about inconsistency.
You don't like inconsistency?
Well, not necessarily, but I think sometimes it belies, like... Not necessarily a production error, but like, again, with the Scrubs example, they clearly just went...
Right. See, this is what I'm going to do with Jordan now. Belies was the wrong word to use there.
Okay.
Because that's inaccurate. That didn't mean what you think it means.
What does it mean?
Belies means gives a false impression of.
Okay.
Were you saying it betrays a production error?
Okay.
Right. But I don't do that, do I, Jord? So for future reference, don't call me out on my slightly misfired jokes, all right?
Well, maybe you should, because if I'm using the wrong words...
Often.
And it's muddying my point.
Yeah.
I'd like to use the right words, please.
Well, if I do so, I'll do it off air.
Well, I've made the point.
To preserve your dignity.
I've made the point incorrectly.
Okay, right. I only did it in this instance to show you why it's the wrong thing to do.
It's not the wrong thing to do. It's not the wrong
on
thing
air,
to do. My point is now being strengthened by using the right words.
On air, it's wrong.
It's not wrong.
Of course it is.
How's it wrong?
Because that's just not the way
on air is when that's when the people hear us. If I say a wrong word to you and we're like in a private venue,
yeah,
that doesn't matter.
No, I get your point, but it's just like decency. You don't correct people in front of other people. It's just not something that you do. Have you not been raised like that?
What, in terms of not correcting people?
Yeah, you don't correct people, like, you don't embarrass people in front of other people. Go, oh, you used the wrong word.
Well, no, you don't embarrass them.
Yeah.
But if it's like bad...
Yeah, if something that genuinely requires correction, like, oh, I think you might have got that wrong. But don't you ever notice that just the general feeling of, like, how fragile people are when they have to correct something? They go, oh, God, I'm going to have to correct something. Like, this is mortifying now. Because it's like an embarrassing, especially for British people.
Yeah.
It's something that we don't like to do, because it's like a social taboo.
So should we not correct people, then?
No. Generally speaking, no. But it depends on what the thing that needs correction. If it's a wrong word, you don't go, I'll stop you there. You use the wrong word. If you'd written something, I would tell you that you'd use the wrong word.
If if the point doesn't completely collapse.
Yeah.
So for the sake,
so for the sake of argument,
the thing that I just said, I said belies, whereas what I meant was betrays.
Yes.
But I feel like, obviously, if somebody was like going through what I was saying,
they would know the context and just that you.
No, but if somebody was like, right, I'm going to do a response to this, they would say that I say the word belies, and they would go, that's actually the opposite of what he means.
That would be an ad hominem, though, in a way, because I think I would know from everything else you're saying what you really meant.
But that's my point.
You just slightly use the wrong word.
That's my point, is that in this context, what I'm saying, like, you still understand what I'm saying, I'm just not presenting it correctly.
Yes.
It's an issue of presentation more so than it is actually ruining the point.
Yes.
But if it's ruining the point...
Which is why I wouldn't generally correct it.
No, but if what I say ruins my point, or it like undermines it, then I would like to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with that I agree.
Yeah.
But if it's just like the wrong word, I think that you just don't do that.
Okay. This is all coming about because I didn't understand the joke and wanted to understand it. You realise that, right?
Yeah, I know.
So why are you being a bastard about it?
Because I'm not being a bastard about it.
You are.
Right. Why do you think I'm being a bastard?
Why do I think you're being a bastard? Because I was like, can you... What was that? What did that mean?
Yeah.
You were like, oh, here's what it means. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose I can't have a grudge with you about it because you were genuinely trying to understand it. But you've done it before where like a joke hasn't quite and you've gone, no, hang on, that doesn't work. Like, what's that? Like when we've been watching something and you've gone, I think like, we were watching Justified and the actor that plays Fernando Sucre in Prison Break was in it, and they were talking about Shiga. I went, oh, that's funny because Sucre. You went, yeah, but that's in a different show.
Yeah.
So, right. Okay. What's the what
but that was ribbing.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's your tone then. I think you do give a false impression sometimes. A lot of people think you're something different than what you are.
Right. It's okay.
No, yeah, in the moment, it was like you were just pointing out a bad joke. Right. Which is obviously like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
I did have, I think it was in Berlin. I was on a university trip to Berlin. And obviously we had like organized, like throughout the day, there was like an organized thing, like you go to this place, you go to that place. But in the nights, they were yours, basically. And we were university students in Berlin. We were going drinking. But I wasn't specifically. I think I was ill that day, or I didn't want to go or something. But somebody came to my room and was like, oh, do you want to come out with us? And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give it a go. And because I hadn't been, like, I think people hadn't invited me because, like, I didn't typically hang out with that group of people. So it just wasn't really a consideration. But they're not the type of people that were like, oh, God, he's here. They're just like, oh, yeah, all right. Yeah, we didn't know you wanted to come. Come with us.
Right.
But she said, oh, as a joke, what you should do, if they, like, bring up the, like, oh, it's nice to see you or something because we haven't seen you all day.
Right.
Just be like, yeah, well, that's because you didn't invite me along.
Right.
Just to see how his reaction is. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that. And I think she left to go for a cigarette and the opportunity arose.
Right.
So I was like, right, do I just plow ahead with this?
Yeah.
Without backup?
Right.
Or do I, like, wait for another potential opportunity? I was like, well, it's not going to come.
Right.
And she might be like, oh, why didn't you do the thing? I thought we were going to do the thing. Right. So I did. Like, so the guy was like, I think he said, like, yeah, we haven't seen you all day, George. I don't know where you've been. And I said, oh, yeah, that's because you didn't invite me. And this look of terror on his face, as if, like, oh, shit, we've, like, upset this guy.
Right.
And I saw it, and I just immediately went, oh, no, it's fine. I was joking.
Right.
And he went, oh, fuck. He was, like, probably, like, head in the hands, like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I thought we genuinely upset you.
Yeah.
My point being that, yeah, maybe there is a tone issue, because he said, like, I thought you were being 100% sincere.
Yeah.
Whereas I thought I'd put like a little lilt in it just to be like, oh yeah, because you didn't invite me.
Yeah.
I was trying to put that kind of like air of like, oh, I'm being slightly sarcastic. Yeah. But no, he read it as 100% sincerity, and he was like, oh, like there was this horrible tension at the table. It's like, right, the fight's about to break out.
Well, I mean, that's what you want, really, if you're making that joke, right? You want them to think you're being serious for a second.
Yeah. But
I think he probably just took it worse than he should have.
the problem there, though, is that my only audience was the girl who'd gone for a cigarette. So it wasn't even as if, like, we, in that moment, were able to enjoy their attention.
Yeah, you just did it anyway. And then I was just feedback to her, like, I did the thing. And totally
it went horribly. I think she ended up apologising to him. It was like, oh, yeah, we thought it'd be funny.
I told her to do that.
Yeah.
Well, the closest example I can think of recently is we were meeting a girlfriend's friends, and one of them was telling us about, I think they were Christian, they were creationists. He knew some creationists. And then I said, oh, I'm a creationist. I just kind of looked at him sternly. And I think he just kind of didn't clock what I'd said. He didn't quite hear it. But other people at the table had, and they looked at me like, right. But I just maintained like this really sincere look. And then they just kind of looked at each other and laughed like, oh, he's joking.
Yeah.
But so for the moment, you want them to believe you. And then, I think because I was being so intense, I was clearly having a laugh.
Yeah.
It is tricky though. Yeah, it is a tricky one. But if we want to go retro-analyze what happened.
Okay.
I made a I made a rubbish joke.
Yes.
That didn't work. You queried it. I thought he's just pointing out that it's a bad joke, which I obviously knew. It's going to derail because it was the end of that particular conversation, and it was a flippant remark. That we're going to linger on this now, and I'm going to have to explain that I know it's not a good joke. But obviously, then that all came before you said, no, I genuinely just didn't understand it. So the argument had kind of already been had. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you just criticising a bad joke? Like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So that's what happened there.
Okay. All to say, your ideal pet would be a dog.
I think so, yeah.
Even if you're allowed to own any animal in the world, you would still own a dog because you can't own any animal in the world. That's just not realistic.
No. I'm willing to go with your hypothetical.
Okay.
I just wanted to understand the parameters of your hypothetical.
Okay.
Because if, for instance, you're saying it can be any animal, but it's not dangerous, then that changes a lot about a lot of animals.
Right.
Making them not that animal.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
But generally speaking, yes, a dog.
Okay.
A St. Bernard dog.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And I would implore you to think about why inconsistency irritates you.
Right, fine. Okay, so, pig.
Pig.
All right, so Pig is a film. It's also it's also one of those.
It's also a creature.
But Pig is a film that recently came out starring Nicolas Cage. It's about Nicolas Cage. Well, it's about the character. It's about the character Nicolas Cage plays. Then is it?
I'm not being strictly pedantic, only because I was reading earlier that there's that film coming up where he is playing Nicolas Cage.
Oh right, okay.
Okay. What's it called? I think like The Burden of Being Brilliant or something like that.
Yeah. I feel like
The Burden of Massive Talent or something like that.
I feel like Eddie brought that up like ages ago, right?
Did he?
Yeah, I think.
We talked about it. Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, this is going to happen," and we were like, "Oh, fine."
It's very close to happening now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So Nicolas Cage plays a character, and the film is about that character.
Yes.
Basically, this character is a truffle hunter. Truffle hunter.
Yeah.
You hunt truffles.
Yeah, that's what they're called, truffle hunters.
Truffle hunters.
Yeah. Should be foragers, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Truffle foragers.
Yeah, hunter. Like truffles don't put up a fight, really, do they?
Well, no, that wasn't me pondering. Do they? I was trying to think of whether that applies to all things that are hunted.
Well,
I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah, most things that are hunted.
Well, they move.
Yeah,
they at least move.
Crucially,
yeah.
Yeah, the hunt. It's not just capture. You also have to. Well, no. Yeah, it's not difficult to capture a truffle.
No, we don't need to. Yeah, you don't really need to capture it.
No, but like a capture is part of a hunt.
Yeah. You scavenge for truffles.
Yes.
Yeah.
You hunt deer.
Pigs.
Yeah. Pigs. Yeah. I
like pigs. Also, I genuinely thought like they couldn't look up. I thought that was a true thing.
Oh right.
It does in this film quite a lot.
Yeah, he looks up.
Looks up all the time.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. She's also a hairy pig.
Yes.
Which I guess I knew that pigs could be hairy, but
truffle pig. Yeah.
You don't think of hairy pigs. You just think of a smooth pig.
Yeah.
So a hairy pig was like, oh no, it's a hairy pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was constant honking, oinking as well.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That would wind you up, wouldn't it? I'd love to have a pig, but if all it did was just all it did moving around, it doesn't stop. It's not like a dog barking.
Yeah.
Like, that is just what the sound it makes when it moves.
Yeah, there's like a shot where he like puts food on the ground and you just hear as it like walks into shots and then starts eating the food. Yeah, so he has a truffle pig that gets pig snatched.
Pig napped.
Pig napped.
Yeah.
Pork snatching.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yes.
Working on that one, have you?
No, that was instant.
Okay,
that was like,
right.
that happened just now. Give me some credit. I feel like...
Yeah, fair enough.
If
Yeah,
I had a bit of time...
A far throw from my tortoise joke.
Good. Okay.
Good. Right.
Yeah, so the pig is...
Just to show that I'm not mean-spirited.
Yes, so the pig is pork snatched.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage goes on the hunt for the pig.
Yes.
Bit of a mix, isn't it? Of John Wick and something. No, just based entirely on the premise.
Okay.
It's like John Wick / Big Lebowski, isn't it?
I know where you're coming from, but I kind of... I was going to bring John Wick up, but only as like, this film really isn't that.
Yeah, well, maybe I should have set the point up a bit better.
Yeah.
What I was sort of implying was that you hear there's a film starring Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, let's go off the trailer, basically.
Yeah.
Because the trailer, even though it is elegiac, and it kind of does give a bit of the tone of the film, but on paper, yeah, I think that's one of the toughest things with this film is the sell.
Exactly, yeah.
I told my father about it, and it's just laugh.
Exactly, yeah. There's this film called Pig, starring Nicolas Cage, which is pig gets kidnapped and he has to go find it.
Yeah, and the trailer's like, where's my pig?
Yeah,
like that's,
exactly, yeah.
And to be fair, pretty much every line he says in the film has the word pig in there somewhere.
Credit to them.
Yeah,
they're really having it at home, sort of actually that ties into a point that we're yet to make.
Okay. Well, I think, like, I first heard about it. Ben Shapiro tweeted it, whatever, Instagrammed it, and said, best trailer ever.
Right.
Obviously going off that vibe that it's like a revenge movie. Yeah. About Nicolas Cage, who's like a now cult figure. You know, hunting down this
Where's
pig.
my pig?
Yeah, and killing everyone in his way.
Chainsaw fights. Give me my pig.
Right, exactly. And I think, obviously, a lot of people have confused it for that, going off the trailer. Again, it's not quite we're going to make Drive look like Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, it's not misleading.
It's not misleading.
If anything, it's trying to correct your assumption.
Absolutely. But still on paper, it's like, right, okay. And like a weird revenge movie. And yeah, like that thing of, it's like John Wick, but with a pig.
Yeah.
Except they kill his dog in John Wick, right? They don't kidnap it.
You know, and I think that's where the Lebowski thing comes in. Where he's sort of like...
Right.
They take his rug, and he's going after the rug, and he meets all of these like eccentric characters.
Sure. Yeah. And I think, you know, the general misimpression is kind of understandable, and I wouldn't blame them if they leaned into that to sell it, because maybe it's the only way to get it to a larger audience is let's maybe missell it a bit as like it's Nicolas Cage going off to enact you know, justice, but the film isn't that, crucially.
It's really not that. And exactly, if you look at it on paper, it's like, oh, it's this Nicolas Cage like Big Lebowski, John Wick type film, revenge pig film.
Yes. That genre.
Yeah. Oh, it's another one of those revenge pig films. And then when the film opens and it's incredibly dark, aesthetically speaking, it's in a forest. It's him and a pig. There's total isolation, no dialogue. It's very dark. He like summons the pig out through the doorway, and then within the doorway, the word pig comes up in like indie white font.
Yeah.
And you're like,
A24 font.
Yeah, A24.
Yeah. Is it A24? Because if it's not, it has that aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's like its own brand now, the A24 look.
Yeah.
That slightly darker filter, giving everything like a gloomy feel. Hereditary and all that.
I'm going to say it's not A24.
No, but it easily could be.
But it could be, yeah. It might very well be. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, when that title comes up, you're like, oh, God. They don't realise that it's a pig revenge movie. They're going to play it completely straight, and it's going to be so boring, and it's going to be really dull.
Yeah.
But it becomes clear as the film goes on that this film knows exactly what it is.
Yes.
And that's really encouraging, is that it is exactly, like, it knows what it is, and what it is interesting, tonally. I think, like, the three films, correct me if I'm wrong, The 3 films we'll be discussing today, an hour and a half in.
Yes.
The 3 films that we're going to be discussing today, I think the buzzword is tone for all 3 of them.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think the tone is very particular.
Is a big ingredient in the recipe.
It's a big ingredient in the recipe. They have very particular tones and very precarious tones at times as well.
Okay.
Well, in this instance, I would say that it's not John Wick, it's not Big Lebowski, it's not that at all. It's quite a somber.
It's a film about loss.
Yeah, it's a
sad, quiet, slow film.
Yeah, it's sort of a somber experience, but there are moments of almost absurdity.
Yeah, there is absurdity in it. Yeah,
yeah, and it kind of straddles that line of somberness and absurdity.
Kind of.
Like it balances the two.
Yeah,
you've got those scenes which are scenes where like characters sample food and they cry.
Mm-hmm.
And very kind of like, the central relationship outside of the pig is Nicolas Cage and the guy who buys the truffles off him.
Yeah.
And that kind of their relationship in the film, they open up to each other and they become very vulnerable to each other. But then you've got scenes where like they've got the underground restaurant owner fight club.
Yeah, I think that's the only really odd thing.
Just in terms of like looking at it on paper, that's the most out there thing conceptually.
Yeah,
but I would say the scene with Chef Derek,
right,
a previous employer of Nicolas Cage. Because spoilers, all of these are going to be spoilers, by the way. But spoilers, Nicolas Cage used to be a chef.
Yeah,
and then I think his wife died.
Yeah.
And he grieved and couldn't be around anymore. So he
fled civilization,
went up to a cabin and became a truffle hunter with his pig, which he loves.
Yes.
Innocently.
Yeah.
Because they bring that up at one point and he's like, oh, you probably fuck your pig. And he's like, I don't fuck my pig.
Yeah.
And then it becomes clear like it is completely innocent relationship, which is nice.
Well, yeah, like the thing that I'm guarding against is any cynicism.
Yeah.
Because it's got that thing about, it's the premise sounds absurd.
Yeah.
And like there is, when Adam Arkin says to him, we're doing spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He basically finds a guy that has it and he says, I'll cut the pig into bacon if you don't leave this alone. And again, on paper, out of context, it's goofy.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous threat.
But when you're watching it, if someone had laughed at that, usually, I think horror and everything, it can be funny. It can be so weird or whatever. I would kind of go, why are you laughing? It's anything that suggested that he fucked the pig.
Yeah.
Why are you doing... that's not what it is. For God's sake, grow up. It reminded me of... nothing happened. I just thought about people doing this. When we were watching... I don't know if you were there. We were watching Jaws in university.
I wasn't there, but you've told me this anecdote,
And, when it first appears, and it's clearly like a rubber shark.
Yeah.
And then someone just started laughing hilariously, and that caused a chain reaction of laughter. It's like, oh, fuck off. It was 1975. That cynicism of, you can do better now. You're going to laugh at Jaws, like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Fucking short-haired. Oof. I was going to say a word then, but stop myself saying it. Because I remember exactly what she looked like. I never knew her, never knew her name, anything about her, but I can remember exactly what she looked like. The back of her head in profile, just fucking giggling away, the fat fuck.
Well, you've painted quite a vivid picture, so we'll move swiftly on.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that scene with Chef Derek, who was a previous employer of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And... his reactions when Nicolas Cage is talking to him,
it's very over the top
and sort of unraveling his soul, unraveling him emotionally. I like that actually. I don't know whether that was an intentional quirk of the script, but the premise of that scene is that they need information out of him, and Nicolas Cage is doing that by basically saying, "You're a fraud. I remember you before, and you were I fired you because you weren't that good, but you had all of these dreams and aspirations, and you have betrayed those." For the sake of popularity, which is shallow.
It's interesting. Yeah, he said, I think that's benevolence. I don't think he's being nasty to the guy. I think he's I'm saying this to help you. I don't think he's doing it to break him down so he'll reveal information.
No.
He's being honest with him. He's just what'd you say to him?
Well, that's
there's only a few things in life we really get to care about.
Yeah.
And he's like, then why aren't you doing that right now?
Yeah.
Well, you're living this life.
Well, I think that's sort of definitely a feature of that character, right? The sort of, initially, he comes across as, like, rude and standoffish and just like, oh, his time away from civilization, he's lost all social etiquette.
Yeah.
But no, in reality, he's kind of...
soulful.
Yeah, that time away has allowed him to just be a...
Kind of enlightened in a way.
Yeah, enlightened that he can just say things how they are. He's not constrained by image the same way that his companion is.
Enlightened but incomplete. And there's just the tolerance for bullshit is gone, I think. So yeah, when he sees this guy living this completely false existence, he's like, I'm just going to tell you that it is. Like, you know...
but my point was only going to be that, like, at the beginning of that scene, he says that, like, oh, we're moving into deconstructed local dishes. We're deconstructing food.
Yes.
And then that scene is a literal deconstruction of that character.
Yes.
He's just taking him apart.
Yeah.
Whether it's through benevolence or cruelty, and I do think it is benevolence.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if that was at all intentional. That, like, the food was like, oh, it's deconstructed food, and then
I think
that
so,
guy gets, like, completely dismantled.
Is that what that chapter is called? Because there are 3 chapters.
Like, deconstructed scallops or something like that.
Yeah, so it probably is very intentional. Yeah. It is kind of a weird blend, and it's hard to fully articulate the tone of the film. It's gorgeously photographed. It's a really nice looking film,
it is,
I think.
Yeah.
I think the relationship between him and the pig, you don't get much of it.
No, again, like, I think this is something that I don't know. I think Red Letter Media brought it up.
You don't see it very much, but it's a pig, so you don't really need to...
Well, there's that aspect, certainly, but I didn't see the trailer. I heard about the trailer, I didn't see the trailer, so I don't know how much they foreground him in the forest with the pig.
Yeah.
I think at the start of the film, you do get that impression that a lot of it is just going to be... The pig will eventually go missing.
Yes.
And a lot of it will be him in the forest.
Yeah.
He'll be in the cabin, like, mourning.
Right.
And then he'll be searching around the forest, and it's going to be a film that's almost completely in isolation. And it's not. Like, 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in.
They take the pig, he gets in his car, and that's it.
Yeah.
He drives off, and then he stays in the same clothes, with the same blood on his face.
Yeah.
Monomaniacal. Like, I'm just going to go get my pig now.
That's another thing that, like, displays the weird tone that the film has, is that Nicolas Cage is pretty much constantly covered in blood.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to comment or care, really.
Very few, yeah.
Some people do.
Yeah.
Like, if he's directly interacting with people, it will be addressed. But yeah, like, he goes into restaurants covered in blood, and he's just sitting down, and people are just like, oh, do you want to look at the menu? Today we're eating blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I think it's... Well, the vibes I got off the bat were... Have you ever heard of a film called Paris, Texas?
Oh, the title rings a bell, but I know literally nothing about it.
Yeah, I think it's Wim Wenders, I think. Like, German director, and it was an American film in the 80s, and it was hailed for being a European's view of Texas.
Right.
And basically the film starts with, it's the grand panorama of the desert, and a man just emerges and just is walking alone through the desert.
Yeah.
And then he reaches, like, a little shack, and a payphone, and he phones his brother, and his brother picks him up. And then the film is like him reconnecting with civilization, and you find out that he has this kid and a wife that he hasn't seen in years. And it had that vibe of, like, a man just emerging from nowhere that then has to go to the city. So those are the first vibes I got. Like, okay, that's very different aesthetics and tones and that, but I like that film. It was the kind of one of my first obscure-y kind of films. But yeah. Well, they're both very good.
They are both
like, Alex Wolff is also very good. I think that this point has been made elsewhere, but the moments of absurdity, I think the level of the film, when it has humour, it's in, like, that scene where he's talking to himself in the mirror and psyching himself up. Yeah. And then it just cuts to a new scene. Like, the film doesn't want to give him the time of day.
I like that, because when he's introduced that character...
Yeah.
Amir,
yeah.
Amir. When Amir is introduced...
Yeah.
He's either very far away from the camera, or his face is just not in frame at all. It's focused entirely on Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I think because of that, I wasn't expecting him to stick around.
No.
I thought he was basically like the first rung of the ladder Nicolas Cage would have to climb to get to the
not
pit.
as consistent. Yeah.
Then he ends up being, like, the main supporting...
Yes.
But yeah, it's sort of interesting how the film's opinion of him seems to parallel Nicolas Cage's opinion of him.
Yeah.
Like I said,
no respect.
Yeah, in that opening scene, Nicolas Cage doesn't talk to him, and as a result, we barely see Amir.
Yeah.
And then I think on both occasions, because there's 2 times he gets cut off, where it just hard cuts to the next scene while he's in the middle of speaking.
Yeah.
On both occasions, Nicolas Cage doesn't like him.
Yeah, and like when they first get in the car and he's listening to that, here's how you enjoy classical music thing.
Yeah.
Then Nicolas Cage turns it off. And think, right, okay, well, that's ordinary enough. And then he turns it back on. You're like, well, surely, no one's that socially thing that they're going to do. And he just turns it off again. Yeah. So it's like, that's his opinion of the guy. It's like, no, you're nothing. I don't want to listen to your thing, so I'm just going to turn it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the relationship between him and the pig, it's just kind of, all it needed was that when he's about to listen to the tape that his wife recorded, and then he turns it off because he can't bear it. And the pig just kind of waddles up to him and he just goes, I'm okay. It's like he's obviously anthropomorphizing
I'm okay, pig.
That's the thing. There's a tragedy to it because the pig doesn't care. I don't want to be a dick and just completely take the wonder away from human-animal relationship. But the fact is the pig, it's a pig. But it's like, I'm okay. And that's the relationship between, he takes comfort, he derives comfort from the pig. It's a very stark film, very simple, very deliberate. There's no faff. It's an hour-and-a-half film, which for a film of this tone is usually longer.
Yeah, that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
It didn't outstay its welcome.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah. What's your overall opinion of it?
Just in general?
Yeah.
Well, those opinions I have are positive.
Okay.
I view this film positively.
Yes. Do you like it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
Is that a question? I do like it. I like it. And it does stay with you. I love the ending. I'm biased because it's a Springsteen cover.
Yes.
That's the song that ends with I'm on fire. I really like that song. I don't think it's a brilliant film, though. A lot of people are saying it's a brilliant film.
Okay.
I don't think it's the best thing Nicolas Cage has ever done.
Right.
He's really good.
He is.
But I don't think it's the best performance he's ever given.
But the other thing they're saying as well is this is a return to form.
Which they always say about Nicolas Cage.
It's not.
Well, it's not that it's not a return. It's not that he's not on form. It's just that last year was Colour Out of Space, which is very well reviewed.
Yeah.
The year before that was Mandy. He just, again, we've said before, he just does enough.
He does so many films that some of them are going to be really good.
Yeah.
And some of them are going to know how to use him as well.
Yeah, it's a hit rate,
Yeah.
It's a good film. It's not... I don't know. It has the ring of being, really profound. I don't think it is. It's really a simple film. I think the director will go on to do better things.
Yeah.
I think it's a good start.
I think that was my comment towards Relic, wasn't it?
Right.
It's that it's so simple.
Yeah.
That I'm more interested in what the director's going to do next as opposed to what I think of Relic, I suppose.
Yeah.
I have an opinion of Relic, but you've done that. What's the next thing then? I suppose it's a similar thing with it. This is a debut, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, this is a writer-director debut. I suppose we'll see. It's very simple. It doesn't try to be important or big or
Not important. I just think it's the kind of film, the way it presents itself, it's like there's a lot going on beneath the surface. And I don't think there's that much going on beneath the surface. I think it's about grief, and that's sort of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing.
Well, I mean, that's a big thing to deal with, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. But it's... I'm finding it hard to explain. It's like Barton Fink. It's like every second you're like, there's so much to peel back, and I don't know. The film has that vibe about it, but it doesn't actually have the substance. I'm not saying it's a bad film. There are things going on, but there's not that much going on. When you strip away, it's like, oh, he's in grief and denial, and that's sort of all there is.
Is that to the detriment of the film, though?
No, it's just not as. It's not. It makes it not a brilliant film.
Okay.
Not a capital G great film. It's a good film.
Yeah.
And it's a good start. But I mean, the ending is the big revelation is, well, the pig is dead. It's been dead the whole time. Not when he had it, but as soon as as soon as
it turns into the Sixth Sense all of a sudden. Yeah.
As soon as it was stolen, it basically these drug addicts mistreated it, so it died.
Yeah.
And he crumbles, obviously, and then he returns back to the wilderness. He's being driven by Amir, and they stop at this diner. And Amir says, "What are you thinking?" And he says, "I think that if I hadn't gone looking, she'd still be alive." He says, "But she wouldn't be." And that basically is... It applies to his wife, doesn't it? It's like you've been living in denial, essentially.
Yeah.
You haven't had to face your life.
The pig becomes a metaphor, kind of.
Like, yes, she would be dead.
Yeah.
Like, just because you didn't have to face the people that were in your life at the time, she's still dead, mate. And that's the big kind of emotional payoff. And then he goes back to his cabin and he manages to listen to the tape. And that's good. But it's not like... that deep, really. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, but you're not bringing this up as a criticism.
Only in it's not the thing that stops it from being brilliant.
Okay,
I don't, because it's getting really great reviews, and I think it's a good film.
I wouldn't call it brilliant. I'm always hesitant. Well, I try to be hesitant anyway when I see a film and declaring it like, oh, this is great.
Okay,
because you never know the staying power of a film.
Well, it's your opinion.
No, I know, but like your opinion can change, can't you? There are films that at the time when they came out, I declared them as like, oh, I love this. This is a great film,
right?
And I don't hold them in anywhere near as high regard as I used to.
Okay, but that shouldn't stop you from saying that you think something's great, though, right?
No, I'm just like, I don't know if this film will last. We're still sort of in the milieu of the of the response to it, the very positive response to it, which is in part it's probably because it was such a surprise for people, right?
Yeah, and
not only that it was very different from the film they thought it was going to be, but that it was even though it was different, it was good.
Well, I credit it with being idiosyncratic because it feels like a very personal film, even though it can't be, in terms of the detail of the plot. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird story.
Yeah.
So I credit it with that. Like, I haven't seen this film before. I've seen plenty of films about grief, and I made that comparison to like Paris, Texas, about dealing with past trauma and the secret history and everything. But yeah, like it does it in its very unique way. So I credit it with that. I know what you mean. Yeah, we're not like out of the
so
of it.
It's entirely possible that within a month we'll be like, oh yeah, pig.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's sort of why I'm hesitant to say like, oh yeah, I like it, or oh, I'm not a fan.
Well, you can still say that and then just change your opinion in a month, can't you?
I suppose.
I like it. I do like it. It's not a thing I disliked. It's a good thing that exists.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not as substantive as it could have been.
Okay.
For me.
How could it have been more substantive?
Well, it could have been about deeper issues and dealt with wider themes.
Looking at the film as it is.
Yeah.
How could it have been more substantive?
What do you mean? No, what do you mean? That's a fair question.
Like,
what does anyone mean when they say the film could have had more substance to it?
Yeah.
It means it could have had more substance to it.
Yeah.
So what are you asking me?
Well, where could that substance have been put in?
But what are you asking me to do? The film as it exists in its current form, you want me to insert substance?
Well, I'm not necessarily saying, oh, crowbar in substance.
Yeah.
I'm sort of saying that, like, okay, so you have this construction of, like, it's Nicolas Cage, his wife is dead, the pig gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
The pig ends up becoming a metaphor for him, like, getting over his wife. He has this relationship with this guy who he doesn't like, and then over the course of the film, they open up to each other and sort of solve each other's issues and inadvertently. I don't see that it needed to be more substantive, I suppose. When I asked you to say, where could the substance been put in, I don't see the need. Like, I don't, like, there's no part of the film where I feel like, oh, that's a very weak part. That could have done with more. You know?
Oh, well, okay, we disagree then. I mean, it's not my job to rewrite the film that's there. I'm saying that before you get to what the film is, more substance could have been put into the script. Right. I don't know. This feels like a weird thing you're saying to me. It's just like an easy thing. It could have had more substance to it.
Okay.
It's ultimately fairly a shallow film. It could have had more going for it.
I think it's because it's so cleanly orbits around the idea of grief.
Yeah,
and that it's so,
but in a shallow way. In my opinion. I mean, you can disagree with that opinion.
I don't know.
Do you think it's a very substantial film then?
No, I don't. I'm just saying I don't see where does it need to be.
It didn't need to be substantial. So what does the film need? What did this film need to be then?
No, I'm just saying
shallow was adequate.
No, I'm not saying shallow is
So what are you saying?
You're not... I'm not saying that... all I'm saying is that I think the film is fine as it is. I don't feel like it's a problem that it's not it's not bigger.
Okay, well...
in a way, I feel like it's almost unfair to say, oh, well, it's not... It could have been bigger.
I'm not saying it should have been bigger. I'm not saying it should have been bigger. I'm saying it should have been deeper.
Okay, deeper. I feel like it's unfair to say that it should be deeper because the product that we have...
Yeah.
If you're going to call it shallow, fine. Yeah. This shallow film about grief.
I'm not saying it's shallow. See, stop straw manning. It's fine. It's about grief and it deals with it fairly well, but it could have dealt with it better. It could have done more with it.
Okay, off the top of my head, I don't see how it could have done more with it other than just adding more things in, like more characters experiencing grief or more...
Okay.
Yeah, like, oh, he's grieving more, like he was suicidal or something.
Well, okay, fine. You disagree with me.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's a weird argument you're making. Like trying to get me to qualify exactly what I mean by saying it could have been more substantial.
Well, I don't think that's weird.
Right.
I think it should have been deeper. Well, what do you mean by that? This is the same argument we're having again as we had earlier.
What?
It's like I'm asking you to qualify something, and you're going, well,
no. You're asking me to rewrite a script. I'm not going to sit here and tell you in precisely what places it could have been deeper. I'm saying that the script could have been deeper. Well, we're reviewing the film, not rewriting it.
No, what I was trying to do was, rather than just say... Because again, I was trying to preempt your response. Because I thought, like, if I say to him, where could it have been deeper?
Yeah.
That's a less vague question than, what do you mean by it should be deeper?
Well, I'm
giving you, like, all right, I'm not just, like... I'm not putting all of the work on you. I'm sort of giving you a framework within which you can explain yourself.
Yeah.
But once again, we seem to have...
Well, no, I just think
we seem to not be clicking.
Not at all. Because I just think you can disagree with me about whether it's substantial enough. That's fine. But, like... I don't know. It's such a weird thing to say, how could it have been more substantial then? When... I kind of know where you're coming from, but it's like saying, I didn't think it was funny enough. And then you saying, I think it was funny enough. Where could it have been funnier? And me going, well, I didn't find it funny enough. I didn't find it substantial enough. You did. That's the disagreement. That's fine.
No, I'm not saying I found it substantial enough. I'm saying that I don't feel like the film suffers, given the level of depth at which it is operating. Yeah. I don't feel like, this film, like, for it to be, if it was deeper, it'd be better. It's like the depth in which this film operates works for the film that we got.
For you. Okay. Well, we have a difference of opinion.
Okay.
But, like, just saying, how could it have been deeper? That's such a weird question.
What should I have asked you, then?
I don't know.
All I really wanted to do was interrogate your opinion more. Because I don't agree with it.
Yeah,
So it's like, okay, I kind of want to ask him to explain myself, but I can't just say, explain yourself, because that's not...
Well, I suppose the equivalent would be me saying, you were happy with the substance that it had, and you saying yes, and me going, well, why could it not have had more?
I suppose it could have had more.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? You were happy
if someone was like, I'm going to redo Pig and I'm going to make it deeper, it's like, I'm not going to object to that.
Do you see the point? It comes down to, you were happy with the substance it had, weren't you?
Well, I think it worked.
For what you were happy with it.
I don't like that. I don't like saying I'm happy with it.
You were.
Because to me, the implication is like, I would be unhappy if it was deeper.
No, it's not. You were happy with the substance it had, correct? It had enough for you. You didn't need it to be deeper.
There's something about the phrasing of that I don't like.
Why?
I don't know.
Because it's committing to something.
No, not that. That's not a thought that I had.
Right.
So for you to say like, but this is what you're saying, and you agree with that, yeah? So like, I don't know. I didn't think that. I didn't. Well, how
would you phrase it then?
I suppose the way that I've already phrased it, which is
do it again.
At the level of depth this film is operating, I don't feel like it's to the film's detriment.
So, in other words,
I feel like
it was deep enough for you. You were happy with the substance it had. I don't know. What you're saying is a synonym of what I am saying.
Right.
For the film, for the level of depth the film had was right for the film, and it didn't suffer because it wasn't deeper. Is tantamount to saying I'm happy
not
with
necessarily right, because I wouldn't object to more depth, and I would be open to the discussion of how that would manifest.
Right.
But it's not as if like, this is a shallow film. It should have had more going on.
I don't think it was a shallow film. It wasn't deep enough for me.
Right. Okay.
But you were happy with and I wasn't. That's the disagreement here.
Okay.
And that's fine.
I don't think
I just wouldn't ask you to qualify.
I don't think we're in disagreement as to the where this film sits in the pantheon of cinema. I also agree it's not capital G great.
Yes.
I don't know what the legacy of this film will be. But yeah, I have no idea if people are going to remember Pick.
Well, the thing that holds it back for me from being capital G great is that it wasn't as substantive as it could have been. What holds it back for you from being capital G great? If it's not capital G great, something's stopping it.
It's sort of it's in a similar ballpark in the sense that it's not. It doesn't have the ring of greatness about it.
Okay.
Because it's so simple and streamlined. It's sort of, I don't know.
See, I would kind of disagree. That's sort of my problem. Is it does have the ring of greatness about it, but it's not actually great. It's the kind of film that kind of could fool you into thinking it was more than it was.
Oh, I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that it's like masquerading as a great film.
I'm not.
I don't think the film has a higher opinion of itself than where it's at.
No. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's like an arrogant film. I'm saying that because of its tone and its presentation, it could be confused for being deeper than what it is.
Right.
Because it's an A24 film.
Yeah, that type of film, yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, it could fool you. I think because it stays with you as well, you go, was there much to that, though? I don't know. And I think no.
Okay.
Like, not a lot to it. And that, for me, that's the thing that holds it back from being truly great.
Yeah. Is
that really, it's not shallow, in that it's not superficial, but it doesn't go very far below the surface.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean, though? Like, because it's a very taciturn character, and because it's shot in a very gloomy way, and because it's dealing with quite heavy themes, that has the ring of greatness about it.
Yeah.
But it's not actually great.
But I guess my problem is I don't feel like the film is, and I'm not saying this is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that the film is harnessing that cynically. It's
no, I'm not
like it's not arrogant. It's not like, oh, I'm actually very important when it's not. And it's not like it's not it's not like an Oscar bait film where it's trying to deliver the false impression that it's something it isn't.
It's not pompous. It's not like, oh, they're really trying to make it seem like it's great and it's really got a point and no, not at all. It is a humble film. But its trappings could, and I'm not saying it's the film doing it to like fool you.
Yeah.
For the kind of film it is, because it's very slow and deliberate. Films like that are often can be considered great.
Okay.
And it's not. But I'm not saying it's the film's fault per se. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
The only fault of the film for me is that it didn't go as deep as it might have.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess the
which would have tipped it into.
That's where we start to deviate, I suppose, because I don't see.
You thought it was adequate, but I'm interested in what stops it from being great for you. Then.
No. It's just like what I was going to say is that like I don't see where the depth was needed.
Okay.
I guess that's why I asked. Oh, explain to me what you mean by that, because it's like, well,
I suppose does
that mean that he's more sad? Does that mean that there are more characters?
It's at which point are you? At which vantage point are you thinking of that from? If it's like the film is as it is, and like where could it have done with more depth? That's one level of thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm when I'm saying it, I'm going all the way back to you could have written a whole different script.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
A whole different film could have been.
Right. Maybe it's a testament to the script, at least from my perspective, in the sense that this film feels like, because it's so idiosyncratic, it feels like this is the story that is being told, if that makes sense.
That had to be told.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's I'm not necessarily saying like, oh, this is the only version of Pig that could realistically exist. It's just because of the idiosyncrasies and because of the unique way in which they solve the problems that they're confronted with. It feels like this is the story.
Right.
So the idea that the story could be modified in some way, vis-a-vis adding more depth to it. It's like I don't really see where you can start to do that.
But that's because you're looking at it as a finished product.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it as the product doesn't exist yet.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Do you get me?
Yeah, I guess.
It's
like I don't know.
I don't think I'm going to be able to get you to where I am.
Okay.
In language.
Right.
I don't think I can do
language seems to be the barrier here, doesn't it? I feel like we both have a point and we don't quite know how to express it to each other.
No, it's not quite that. I feel like I'm expressing myself fine. It's just not going in, so I don't know what to do to amend that.
Okay.
It's really hard to explain. It's like watching anything and going, it could have been better. And you're going, well, how? Like, where in that could have been... Well, you could have just written a different script, and the whole thing would have been different. Do you know what I mean?
But is that... would that be an answer? Would you say that, like, Pig... We should have written maybe a different version of Pig?
Yes.
Should have written a different script. It should have been about something.
Well, the script should have been deeper, yeah.
Right.
I'm not saying you should have just, like, written a film about a car that... No, like, yeah, there are things about the film that are... It could have been deeper. It just could have been deeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
I just don't seem to think it matters as much as you. I feel, the depth of the film...
You're happy with it?
It's not worse. Like, the film is not worse for being where it is depth-wise.
But would it be better if it had more?
I honestly couldn't answer that.
Surely, yes.
I mean...
That's like... more substance can only ever be better, right?
I don't feel like that's a valid criticism in the sense that you could say that about literally anything.
Exactly.
Parasite would be better if it was deeper, but it's already a pretty deep film.
Yeah.
So why is this a point that...
because some things are...
Why is it a point that need be made about Pig?
Because some things are deep enough.
Okay.
And Pig isn't.
Okay.
Everything could be better than what it is.
Yeah.
If this was better, it would be better. Yeah. But I don't feel a need to make that point about a lot of films I like. With Pig, I do feel I need to make that point.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, did you answer what stops it from being great for you?
I think so. I think I was like... I agree with you that, it's not a deep, deep film. Mm-hmm. Like, you could unpack it pretty successfully on one watch. Mm-hmm. I think taste feeds into that as well. Like, this is not the type of film that I'm prone to immediately liking. Mm-hmm. They are films that I have to sit down and be like, right, I am watching it now. It's not. They're not comfortable watching. I don't feel like Pig is supposed to be a comfortable watch.
No.
But yeah, I'm not comfortable. These are not comfortable films for me. So I feel like even if it was deeper, I would still have kind of like a distant relationship with it.
Right.
Because I just naturally do with films like this.
Okay. Well, I suppose as to what are you after in a film? Because like I suppose the thing that was fundamentally confusing me when you were saying it could be deeper, but the depth is fine. My question is, well, what do you want out of a film then? Because if like it could have been deeper and that would be good.
Yeah.
Isn't that a criticism?
I guess that feeds back to the point that like, well, any film could be deeper.
Okay.
Yeah, like no, but like that's my point. It's like Pig would be better if it was deeper, but you were happy with the depth that was there. Like at what point you could say that about anything. So at what point do you just say like, yes, this could have been deeper, but the product that we ended up with is a good product for what it is?
Well, the point you say that for you is this film, obviously, because you think it was fine in terms of its depth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it worked.
Yeah.
Could be deeper.
Yes.
But it works. It's like, it's not a problem for me.
Yes, right. So the conclusion is one of two things then, isn't it?
Right.
It's either that it was deep enough for you, or depth is not something you require from a film.
No.
No, I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying those are the only two possibilities, isn't it? From what you're saying. It was either deep enough, because you're happy with it, or depth is not a thing that you care about.
Why do they feel unfair?
I don't know, because they're really not.
Right.
If you're saying you're happy with the depth of something, it's either because it was deep enough for you and you're happy with that, or depth isn't something you care about.
Right.
What else could it be?
I don't know, but I don't like those points.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. What do you want from me?
You were in a weird mood this evening, aren't you? You're in a very, like...
These have been weird conversations.
Paranoid, defensive mood this evening.
Well, we did start the podcast by you calling me a Nazi. Also, no, I could have been a Nazi.
Yeah, so could I.
So I guess I'm just in natural defensive mode.
Right. Okay. I just don't know
in case you labelled me as something else unfavourable. Oh, the left. You've also called me the left.
Yeah.
So I'm both the Nazi and the left.
Yeah. Well, they were socialists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess I have to. I'm naturally having to be defensive.
Okay.
Because God knows what else you're going to throw at me this on this day.
Well, I think that one's fair, right? The one you're saying that the depth of something, you're happy with it. It's either because you're happy with it or because depth doesn't matter.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter.
I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm saying that the only extrapolation is one of those two things. One of them is true. So the first one's true then.
What, that I'm happy with?
With how deep it was?
I suppose, yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes, I don't feel like the film suffers.
It didn't require more depth than what it had. It was deep enough for you as it was.
Sure.
Right.
Phrase it like that.
Well, no. What is that an incorrect phrasing?
No, I'm just saying that, like, it's... Yeah. It's... I don't know. This is weird. I don't like this.
What? You freak! What? What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I don't like... We seem to have ended up in this, like, this pit that we're not getting out of.
Well, we ended up in the pit, right? Because twice now we've been in pits.
Yeah.
We ended up in this pit because I said it could have been deeper, and you said, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So that's what started this.
What started as me asking you what I thought was a perfectly innocent question.
Right.
Now seems to result in me having to concede.
You're not conceding anything.
Something. I feel like I'm conceding.
But that's just because you're weird.
Is it?
You're just like, yeah, what are you conceding here? What are you giving? What am I gaining? That you're like, you do this a lot.
Well, you said...
Power games. Like, I win and you lose.
No, you said that, like, the film is not... this film could have been deeper.
Yeah, it wasn't deep enough for me.
It wasn't deep enough.
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that seems to result in me having to say that, it was deep enough.
For you. Yes.
It didn't need to be any deeper. Which I don't necessarily agree with.
So it did need to be deeper?
No, I'm not... I'm open to the idea of it being deeper.
Right. But as it stands, you're content with it.
Yeah, because that's a point you could make about anything.
No, yes, Jordan, but what aren't you getting here? If you watch a film and you don't think it's substantial enough, you make the point it could have been deeper.
Yeah.
And then you go, you could say that about anything. But you don't because you're satisfied with the depth.
You haven't explained it to me.
What haven't I explained to you?
How, like, it could have been deeper. Okay, why? And this seems to result in you going, well, then why do you... No,
right. What's the funniest film in the world to you? What's your favourite funny film?
I don't know.
Let's say Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
Something that we both think is pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
It could have been funnier, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Would I have left that film and gone, could have been funnier, though? It's obviously a criticism of the humour of a film if you say, could have been funnier. A rebuttal to that is not, well, you could say that about literally anything.
Yeah.
Yes, that's semantically true.
Yeah.
But that point is only brought up in the context of, I didn't find it that funny.
Okay, it's not funny. Okay, so why was it not funny for you?
But, yeah, right, that. How can I answer that question? Why wasn't it funny for you?
Well, there are things you can look at. It's like, I didn't like the type of humour, or I didn't like the delivery, or I thought
yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. But you seem to...
But, like saying...
In this instance, you don't think it seems to be possible.
What?
That
quantifying precisely how it could have been deeper.
Yeah. You don't seem to think it's possible to explain how a film... To explore how the film could have been deeper.
Well, no. I mean, we could do it. I just don't...
That's what I was asking originally.
Yeah, but it's not like you're asking me to rewrite the film. But I'm reviewing the film.
But if you're in a position where the film hasn't been written yet, how hard is that?
You want me to sit here and write a version of Pig with the level of depth with which I would have been satisfied?
All I wanted you to do was explain yourself. I was just asking a question, Sam.
A dumb question, George.
It wasn't a dumb question.
It was a dumb question.
It was not a dumb question.
It was a dumb question.
I don't think the film is deep enough. Well, why would it be deeper? Well, that's a fucking stupid question, you stupid person.
Well, no. I mean, I tried to answer your question.
I don't feel like you did.
Yes, I did.
It's been long enough ago that I genuinely don't know if you did try.
I did try.
All right. I'll trust you on this occasion.
Well, I mean, saying I tried, it's an impossible question to answer, really. I tried as much as I could with that caveat that it was impossible to answer.
I will admit, because like, if you do directly question me, and I was not expecting it, I'm prone to get flustered in situations like that, where I feel like I'm on the spot. It's like, oh, right, okay, I have to explain a thing or think of a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm perfectly willing to admit that maybe my phrasing was confusing, or I was kind of trying to stumble to a point, and that caused confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like you saying the film could have been deeper,
yes,
and then me asking how is not stupid.
It's not stupid. It's a weird question to ask.
I really don't feel like it is.
What film do you think...
If we were talking about a comedy... If we were talking about a comedy or a horror film and you said, it could have been funnier or it could have been scarier...
Yeah.
I feel like asking, how could it have been funnier and how could it have been scarier? They're not necessarily...
I'm not saying stupid. Let's remove stupid from the equation.
Okay.
I just don't think they're the right questions to ask.
Okay, I suppose a better question would be, well then what do you think the limitations were? Because there were obviously limitations on the for you at the very least. There was obviously a reason why the film wasn't as funny or wasn't that funny. Mm-hmm. There were limitations in the humor. Same with horror. There's like, there's a reason it's not going above a certain level of scary. Mm-hmm. What were those limitations? Let's figure out if it's just taste.
Yeah.
Or whether there is something the film is doing wrong that we can rectify.
Right.
I guess I wanted that, but with depth.
Well, the thing, like with a funny film, is it could have been funnier. And so, well, why didn't you find it funny enough? Go, well, I didn't laugh.
That's the perfectly legitimate answer. Sometimes it is just a matter of taste, isn't it?
Well, yeah, this is all taste. It's a review.
Okay.
So when I said it could have been deeper, that's my taste.
I don't feel like taste was ever brought up, though.
What do you mean, Jordan? Every time we review a film, it's our taste.
No.
We're in the context of a taste
earlier
discussion.
on, though, when I was like, why do you explain it to me how it could have been deeper? Or like, how could it have been deeper? I don't feel like...
No, to be fair, I never said that's because to my taste. I feel like saying, though, in my opinion, it wasn't deep enough for me kind of covers that. Just because I didn't actually
not necessarily,
use the word
taste. Because if we look at the comedy example...
Yeah.
It's like, okay, taste is one factor.
Yes.
But another factor could be this character's performance was subpar.
Right.
They weren't landing the joke. They weren't telling the jokes properly.
Right.
Their timing was off.
Yes.
Or this creature is supposed to be scary, but it's actually quite goofy.
Yes.
Like, taste is one possible thing.
Yeah.
But there could be things wrong with the film that can be fixed.
But deeper's a bit more esoteric than that, though, isn't it?
No, I'll concede to that.
Yes.
But you can still give it a go, you know? Like I said, is it a case of we explore grief through more characters so you can kind of pull different things out of different forms of grief can be displayed in the film? Mm-hmm. Is it a case where Nicolas Cage needs to be more grief-stricken? Is that what you mean? Is that like his grief was not...
I know what you're saying.
Enough.
You wanted me to concretize it, but... I could give you like a billion versions.
Not
really.
necessarily concretize, just like sort of guide me to give me something.
Well, concretize it. Like what do you mean? Like, could this character could we have dealt more with the father and the wife? I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But because that's
is it a problem with the film or is it taste?
But because that's infinite.
Yeah.
I can't really begin answering it.
Okay.
And it's not my job to. I'm not the writer. I'm the guy reviewing it.
No, you are.
Yeah, so all I need to say is it wasn't deep enough for me.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it hurts to be able to back up your opinion, though.
No, it's not like an essay. I don't have to back it up with, and here's why. It's like, it just didn't hit me in that way. Do you know what I mean? It's just telling you what I felt and thought about it.
Okay.
I don't have to give you the bibliography.
You don't have to.
This might point to something, because we've talked before about when we did our top 10 movie films, and you were reviewing Mad Max, and it was all technical stuff. And I said, why aren't you talking about it like how you felt about it? And you said, because I don't feel like I can't back that up, basically. Yeah. So if I only talk about technicals, I can't basically be called out for it, essentially is what you were saying.
Okay.
And I don't really love talking that way about films. Sometimes I do, but mostly I talk in broad, sweet, like this is my feeling about the film.
Well, I feel like as part of those same conversations, we've sort of said that that's kind of the nice balance that has emerged between the two of us. Is that we both care about both things.
Yes.
Like if you had a film that was very like, it made me feel interesting things, but it's crap.
Right.
It's not the same as like a film that's able to do both things, isn't it? Again, like a film that's very technically proficient, but it's boring as sin. I'm not going to think that highly of a film of it than a film that can do both things.
Yes.
But yeah, you seem to focus, because you're the writers, so you seem to focus more on the story and the characters and the themes and how they kind of resonate with the viewer and how they make you feel.
Yeah, what the film is, what is its message, its point, its function, all that sort of stuff.
Whereas I sort of look at how those things are expressed through the mechanics of the film.
Right.
like that, sort of in Pig when he gets cut off by the editing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that stuff is immediately more interesting to me than perhaps that final, the moment the pig becomes a metaphor.
Okay.
Both are interesting to me.
Yeah.
But I'm more drawn to the...
Yeah, you favour the technical...
Yeah, exactly.
This
is clearly an instance where that's it's a clash more than a synergy.
I suppose so. Like, yeah. I mean, I think you could listen to this and think you're right, think I'm right, think we're both wrong, think we're both... I don't know. It's been a weird one. But it's just, like, hard to technicalise making something deeper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, quantifying that.
No, and that's fair enough. I just wanted to see if... if it could be done, I suppose. Right. Whether there is a problem with the film, or whether it is just a case of like, well, it's just like this is the story that it is. Yeah, and it's unfortunate that it couldn't have been deeper.
Well, that is what it is. Okay, you know, it is my taste. It wasn't deep enough for me. Yeah. I don't know whether that conversation was really interesting or really boring.
It's hard to know. I imagine it would have been tricky to sit through.
Yes.
Because I've no idea how long it went for. Yeah. I've no idea how much we repeated ourselves. I've no idea how much of it was even cohesive sentences at times.
Something in the air tonight. I don't know what it is. It's like in an argumentative mood.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It is bizarre. But I feel like we've sort of reached like a mutual...
Yeah.
We're kind of on mutual ground again now a bit, right?
Yes.
We understand each other a bit more, at least.
Yes.
So I'm hoping the fact that we were able to draw to something of a close.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, well, at least it became something. It wasn't just let's just fucking move on. It's like, oh, I sat through that for nothing.
Yeah, I hope so.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, ultimately, Pig is good.
It's good.
It's pretty good.
But it's not great.
It's not great.
Yes.
Good performance from Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Good Pig.
Good Pig. Good performance from Alex Wolff. Adam Arkin's always good. Value for money. Watch it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and Pig. No more Pig.
No more Pig. Okay. Next film review.
Okay, next film review is...
Limbo. Tell the audience what they've got.
Not Limbo.
Right.
Limbo. Yeah.
There's multiple Limbos.
There are two Limbos that came out this year. One is, I think, like a Chinese like revenge thriller.
Not that one.
This is not that one. Yeah. This is the other Limbo, which is a
British dramedy.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, yeah. So Limbo's about a Syrian refugee.
Yeah.
Who's sort of he's on this like fictional island in Scotland.
Is it fictional?
Yeah, I think it's fictional, yeah. But it seems it seems pretty Scottish.
Oh, yes. I imagine it's filmed in a real Scotland.
It's probably in the real Scotland, but yeah, the island it's based on is fictional, and it's him and like a bunch of other immigrants from different places. And they're sort of... They've been put on this island sort of as like a holding pen, basically, because they're seeking asylum, they've submitted their papers, they're waiting to hear from the government as to whether they're going to be approved or not. And they basically just have to live on this island whilst sort of taking cultural integration classes.
Like assimilation.
Yeah, assimilation classes sort of in preparation for if they get accepted into the country.
Life in Britain.
Yes. And so the film, this is sort of where the title Limbo comes from, right? They are basically just waiting.
Yes.
Their existence is just waiting in this barren place.
Yeah.
Are you sold?
I'm sold.
Sound like something you want to watch?
The only thing that would... I mean, I watched this knowing nothing about it, other than it was a well-reviewed film. Yeah. Literally nothing.
No, same with me.
Yeah.
You told me about it, but you refused to tell me anything about it.
Yeah. And then I saw that it was going to be about Syrian refugees, and my heart sank. Like, oh, no.
2021, a film about Syrian refugees in the UK. Like, oh, right, okay.
It's going to be didactic, political claptrap.
Yeah.
It's not that.
No. There's that kind of stuff is in there. The fact that the locals don't approve of the refugees. And
that's in there, but it's... I think we said this the other day, didn't we? It's green book liberalism, which is like... It's got its heart in the right place. Like, we can't quarrel with the points the film is making.
No.
It's not like, it's not saying that all white people are evil and all that sort of
it's
stuff.
not sort of torch and pitchforks. Oh, you're all bad.
Yeah. It's no, like, just don't call a Pakistani man a Paki.
No, yeah.
It's that kind of level. Like, right, okay. And that's not to say that it's juvenile or, like, simple or anything. But it's kind of weird. Like, in my notes, I've got two... It's kind of like some cognitive dissonance sort of thing. I've got politically has its heart in the right place.
Yeah.
And my last note is apolitical.
Oh, right, okay.
So, and, like, I think that kind of makes sense in that, like, when it does make those points, as it were, it's got its head on, but also it's not a political film.
No, well, that's just an ingredient, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's sort of a... the film is not sort of contriving those kind of politically charged moments.
And they're funny as well. Like, when they happen, they're genuinely humorous.
Yes. Well, that's sort of the interesting thing. Again, we come back to the tone.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember the tone? This film has a very particular tone as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Has a very particular presentation.
Quirky. Is quirky the word?
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
The one thing you did... you told me two things. And my response to the first thing is, I think you need to trust me more, Sam.
Okay. What was the first thing?
Well, you thought I wouldn't like it that much.
Oh, right. Okay.
You said, I don't think it's your thing, but watch it.
And you said that I need to trust you more.
I'm saying now. You need to trust
I see.
Me more.
No. I think what I said to you was... Well, is the second thing where it ranks for me? Is that the second?
No. The second thing is a different point.
Okay. I said to you... Should I say this now? It kind of ruins it. Doesn't matter.
I mean, like, the very fact that you told me nothing about it, I think implies that this is a film we don't want to spoil. And by discussing it, we will be spoiling it.
We will be spoiling it.
So I suppose putting your opinion here and now is kind of a safe... Because it's an obscure film as well.
It is obscure,
We want to bring it to people's attention, but we're also kind of ruining it.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine putting your opinion here.
Okay. I said to you, I think it's my favourite film of the year so far. It won't be yours, is what I said.
Right.
I don't know if I said I don't think you'd like it.
Okay.
It's what you alluded to in that last conversation. It's like just the taste. I would like it more than you would. I think was what I thought.
Right, okay. Well, you also have this kind of long-standing thing of, like, I just don't like dramas.
Yeah, you tend not to.
I don't favour them.
Yeah.
I don't seek them out as quickly as I would seek out other genres.
Yeah.
So I suppose that's what I mean by you need to trust me more. It's not my favourite film of the year.
No.
But it is a film that I do quite like. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, okay. Were you going to say something?
Second point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the second point is you made a Wes Anderson comparison.
Sure.
You said that the film is, the presentation of it.
It's like a Scottish Wes Anderson.
It's like a Scottish Wes Anderson. You're kind of right.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, it only goes so far. It wasn't like a total... I didn't want to imply that it was very Wes Anderson.
No. Yeah, people should not go into this thing expecting a Wes Anderson film because it is not that.
Like that level of symmetry and order and...
But yeah, the sort of... The language of the film, the visual language of the film...
Yeah.
Takes a lot from Wes Anderson.
The colour, memorable... images, like iconic images almost.
Iconic imagery.
And composition.
Yeah. And the fact that every character is always very well composed.
Yeah. Like muted and buttoned down. And
It's
almost artificial. It's like an artifice. Yeah.
Yes. But that's
not as far as
that's where the two start to diverge a little bit, because Wes Anderson, every facet of a Wes Anderson film is artificial.
Yeah.
To its strength.
Yeah. It's a book inside a play inside a cake.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the exterior of the Grand Budapest Hotel is so very clearly, obviously, a set.
Yeah.
And like a miniature that they've a painted front.
Isn't that strange how we just completely don't care about that?
Yeah.
You never think it's just like it goes all of the disbelief. You suspend it. It goes out the window like as soon as you're in the scene.
It's part of the mastery of his style.
It is. You never. It's just like. You just admire the precision of it and the look of it. You never go, that's fake.
Like in the Royal Tenenbaums as well. Kind of a spoiler for the Royal Tenenbaums, but I won't say which character it is. But when they try to kill themselves and they slit their arms, and the blood runs down their arms, and again the blood is it's clearly on a guided path.
Yeah,
that's not naturally how blood flows, but it doesn't detract from the moment.
No, yeah, it's almost expressionistic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's weird because people watch a lot of CGI now, and like especially cynical teenagers, snooty, and the graphics, they are a bit rubbish, and it's just like, well, it's the film. The film is the problem then. Because there are films like Wes Anderson where that doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah.
Films like Wes Anderson. Films.
Yes. But yeah, that's where they start to divert. Because, the performances are kind of Wes Anderson-y. And the cinematography, the framing and the compositions are very Wes Anderson-y.
Yeah.
The locations, though, are very, very real.
Yes.
These are some very real-looking places.
Yeah.
I think there's like a shot, isn't there, where they've got like... they've got pirated copies of Friends.
Yeah.
And the DVD case is like open on the ground, and there's like food over the DVD discs, and the carpet's stained with cigarette butts. And it's like, that's a real place.
That's a real place.
That's almost it's a very vivid. It's too vivid, you know?
There are moments where it strays into the ethereal.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And the abstract. But yeah, like the striking imagery, the film opens with, again, I watched it knowing nothing. This middle-aged woman plays a record.
Oh, yeah.
And she starts doing a weird dance.
Yeah.
And then this weird bloke.
This bloke that up until this moment has been standing statue still.
Yeah. Just starts dancing with her.
Yeah.
And they start kind of enacting like the propriety of how you behave with a woman in a club.
Yeah.
And it's very stilted and very forced and almost like a live performance of those videos you get, like how you should behave in the workplace.
Yeah.
I was like, right, I don't know what this is, but I'm in. It was just offbeat and weird. And I was like, in, I mean, the cinematography is obviously beautiful.
Oh, fantastic, yeah. This will be a hard one to beat, cinematography-wise.
Yeah. I think like it's already been up for independent film awards.
Okay.
I don't see it cracking the big awards. Annoyingly,
it's too small.
It's too small
for that, and that is a real shame because there's a lot that deserves to be recognised for.
I think it's incredibly accessible, isn't it? It's really easy to watch. Maybe not the tone so much. It's not like a middle of the road film.
I think if you can get over the tone, if you're predisposed to this film's tone, then I would agree with you.
You're with it every step of the way. You know what's happening.
Yeah.
The characters are all likable. And
there's no ambiguity to this film. It's not a difficult film to keep up with or unpack. It's immediately clear with its intentions from start to finish.
Yeah.
But I do think if someone who is not predisposed to that tone and you show them that opening scene, they'll just tap out. Sure.
I'll tell you what might be a better comparison. Well, another thing that occurred to me. Submarine.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
Deadpan, kind of cinematically fluent, you know. But just that delivery of, like, everyone's just kind of talking like that and not really moving much and staying in, you know.
It's that, it's in the trailer, but it's like when the Scottish kid in the car.
Okay, well, I haven't seen the trailer. How does the trailer make it look?
Oh, yeah, the trailer makes it look a bit more whimsical than it actually is. It gives the impression that it's about this
ragtag group of...
I kind of got Sing Street vibes from the trailer.
Okay. Like, what's an uplifting British...
Yeah, he's come over here from Syria.
Right.
And he's got to start a new life as a musician.
Right.
But he just needs the town to...
accept him.
He needs to get the band together and get the town to accept him.
Right.
And all will be Gucci.
Okay. Don't say that ever again, please.
But it's not that.
No.
It's not that. It's not that it's not uplifting.
No. But it's not the feel-good movie of the summer.
No, it's certainly not that. But yeah, it's in the trailer as well. But yeah, when the Scottish kid is like pulled up to him, next to him in the car, he's like, Omar, don't fucking blow anyone up or rape anyone.
Yeah.
And Omar just goes, okay.
Yeah.
This is a completely deadpan and just like, yeah, okay. That delivery is like throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. And the thing I really liked, I think the moment that I loved it, maybe. So like his best friend in the film relishes it here, and like it seems not to be experiencing homesickness or culture shock, and that's you're just rolling with it. And he's like, "Why are you so happy here? Like, what the fuck's the secret?"
Yeah.
And then he basically just says, "I can't be myself back home," right, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what he says.
Yeah, I can't be myself back home, and it's like, right, he's gay.
Yeah,
and like that's all. They do go into it a little bit more later, but that moment, I was like, right, the film. I'll be honest, the bias is a little bit of. I'm glad it didn't do the grandstanding thing, and it's being honest about. You can't be gay in Syria because a lot of people lie about shit like that now. You know what I mean? And I'm just glad that it. And I will admit, like that shouldn't be a factor, but the fact that it got its facts right,
definitely
was
that.
Kind of,
but I feel like the film is too stoic.
Yeah,
for that moment for them to have like a grandstanding moment.
Absolutely,
you know?
like subtle and just it passes. And,
yeah,
but yeah, I really like that was the moment where I went right. I'm kind of falling in love with the film now.
Okay.
I have one criticism.
Oh, okay.
The title.
Ah, right, yes.
It's kind of a crap title.
I don't remember the point, but I was going to make a point.
Go on.
That required this point to have been made.
So I'll make the point, and then we'll see if you remember it, is it?
No, because it was during Pig.
Oh. I think we would agree that's an accurate title for that film, though, right?
I think that was it. I think that was the point. Pig is very much the title of Pig.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
It couldn't be anything else.
Yes, because you were saying Nicolas Cage basically says pig in every line of dialogue.
Yes.
The film is about the pig, and then the pig takes on a different meaning, and it's all centered around the pig. So yes, that film is called Pig.
Yes.
But Limbo, for you, there is a better title.
Oud.
Oud.
The instrument that he plays. Obviously, I never heard of a fucking oud before I watched Limbo. It's unique. I don't think there's probably not another film called Oud. Or if there is, certainly not a high-profile one.
No. Certainly not a film like this.
That deserve the title more, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a blunt title, which suits the film. It's very meaningful, obviously. And if you say it in a Scottish accent, it's appropriate.
Oud.
Limbo feels like a producer's title. I don't know, maybe it was always called Limbo, but it's like...
It's the type of title where you need only describe the premise and you go, right, well, it's called Limbo then.
Yeah, and it's bland. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, so many films could be called Limbo. It could apply to so many things.
Well, the fact that there's another film that came out this year called Limbo.
And probably 20,000 others in different years.
Yeah.
But it's just like... I think any film you could call Limbo, because you could interpret it as, someone's at a crossroads and like, could go that... Any film could be Limbo, really. You could call Parasite Limbo. You could, because that's all about floors and what floor you're on. You could call it Departed Limbo, because The Departed is about the priest thing at the beginning, the souls of all the faithful departed. So Earth is like Limbo. You could call literally any film Limbo.
Yeah.
So it's like I care a lot. The only thing that I really didn't like about that was its title. It doesn't ruin the film, obviously.
No, Limbo is also like an appropriate title.
It's fine, yeah.
But it's not Oud.
But it's not Oud, which would have been better, yeah.
Yeah, because he carries the Oud with him.
The whole film.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
His friend.
The gay friend.
Yeah. Why was he allowed to keep the chicken?
You're going to have to remind me.
He steals a chicken.
Yeah.
Because that chicken, like, knows shit.
Right.
Or what was it? He's like...
Oh, I can't remember now.
He sort of... Something about the chicken resonates with him. It's like he doesn't belong here. The chicken's obviously... Saying like the pig was a metaphor for the... The chicken's clearly... Is him in that situation. He recognizes him in the chicken.
Is chicken halal? Well, he's not, I suppose.
No. I think halal comes with the preparation, right?
Yeah.
Any chicken could become halal.
Could it?
Chickens are not inherently halal.
I know, it's mainly proper. Is there any food that you know of that's like, doesn't matter how it's prepared, we don't eat X?
Not that I know of.
Pig? Was that just...
I don't know if that's like... No, India's beef, isn't it?
Yeah, Hindu's beef.
Beef.
Jew pigs, they don't do pigs.
Yeah, they don't do pigs. Not sure about Syria. I'm not sure if there's a food they don't touch.
Well, Muslims, isn't it?
Oh, Muslims, I don't know if there's...
I don't know.
Okay. So he steals the chicken.
Yeah.
And then there's that, like, the scene where the four of them that are in the house together are like, what are we going to do with the chicken?
Yes.
And then I think one of the guys, because the police show up, and one of the guys panics and runs.
Yeah.
And so the police arrest him.
Yeah.
But, like, his friend is just standing there next to the police with the chicken.
Right.
And then he just keeps the chicken. It's like, I
don't know.
I don't know why the police were actually there.
Yeah.
I think your assumption is supposed to be they're there for the chicken, and then the fact that he keeps the chicken is like, oh no, they were there for another reason.
Right.
But yeah, he stole the chicken, and he's an immigrant. they like, they're waiting for the immigrants to fuck up so they can, like, deport them.
Yeah.
So why could he keep the chicken?
I can't give you a good answer because I'd have to rewatch the film.
Okay.
The unfortunate thing is, even saying it's my favourite film of the year so far, I watch about 50 films a week.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, I just forget things really quickly. So I obviously will rewatch it at some point.
Yes, of course.
I'll feed back to you
you'll
on
have
why
to tell me why he's allowed to keep the chicken.
It's probably the Social Network. So I took little bits of chicken and I fed it to the chicken.
He doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that.
He doesn't feed chicken to the chicken.
No, he doesn't do that.
No, puts the chicken back, in fairness.
Yes.
Because he is the only one, right, that's granted citizenship.
Yeah.
and he returns the chicken.
Yes. Oh, you said the first time you watched it, you kind of ruined it for yourself a bit.
I did, yeah. I didn't. I felt like we'd sort of gone past an opportunity where I could make this point. But yes, you told me that it was your favorite film of the year.
Yeah.
So I had high expectations going in, and of course I didn't really know anything.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of occasions in this film where Omar speaks to his mother on the phone. She's hiding in Turkey.
His family are in Turkey.
Turkey.
Yeah. And his brother is fighting in Syria.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a couple of occasions where he's on the phone to his family and they're obviously speaking their native tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And my assumption was, because the first conversation, it's sort of like, it goes on for like a minute or so, a couple of minutes actually, because it's over that very long establishing shot.
It is.
Where Limbo slowly fades in.
Yeah. Were you waiting for it? I was waiting for it. Because when it was like just going down there, I was like, come on, Limbo, come on.
I think that's another example of, like, if you're not predisposed to this type of film, that would be agonizing.
Sure. Yes.
But
what's the best film? You're not prepared for this at all, but what's the best film for testing someone's patience?
Oh, Jesus.
Like, if they can get through that, they're going to be alright.
You can't spring that on me.
I'm trying to think of a good one. Lawrence of Arabia springs to mind.
Okay, Lawrence of Arabia.
It's long and it's slow.
I would say Justice League, but people seem perfectly happy to tolerate Zack Snyder's Justice League.
That's patience testing if you've got taste.
Yes.
Is this the problem? There Will Be Blood. I mean, that's quite...
Yeah. I think, you need to be in the mood for There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Kind of Wolf of Wall Street as well.
That's stamina, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I suppose, that's more stamina than anything else. But, I mean, like, if you're just looking at a scene, a ghost story, right?
Oh, yeah, that's probably a good shout.
Yeah.
Not the longest film in the world, but it's incredibly deliberate and a slow burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that.
My understanding is a ghost story, like, it speeds up as it goes along, like, deliberately. That's kind of woven into the narrative, but
We'll get to it.
I've heard horror stories of that pie eating scene.
Yeah, it's a bit much. It is a bit much.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's the kind of thing I'd usually balk at and just like, oh, that fucking wanky film. I really I love a ghost story. We will get to it at some point.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah.
Yes. So he's having that conversation with his mother, and I thought, right, the film is about the Syrian refugee not fitting in his new temporary home in Scotland.
Yeah.
So what the film is doing is it's not subtitling that conversation because it doesn't want us to understand it. So we understand.
We are fish out of water.
Yeah, we understand what he is feeling because the film is putting us in his shoes.
Yes.
So I continued not watching with subtitles.
Right.
During the second conversation, during the third conversation.
Okay.
And then when it got to sort of like the final big conversation, which took place in Syrian, I was going, I don't know, I think I should be watching this with subtitles. Because there are no baked-in subtitles in the film.
Are there no?
No, because I was the way that I was watching it, there were no subtitles on screen.
Same.
So
this is interesting, because I think what I did, I watched the first bit, and it was going on for a bit too long. And I had a similar instinct of, I'm not meant to understand.
Yeah.
But then when it was going on and on, I was like, surely I'm supposed to. So I downloaded subtitles, but... Yeah, so I actually don't know whether you're meant to know what they're saying or not.
I think it's too much, because I went and got subtitles, and then when I saw that the subtitles were translating, I was like, fuck, I've got to go back and watch all the scenes that I didn't understand the first time.
Right.
Now. So yeah, I kind of ended up watching it out of order.
Yeah, to be fair, I think if downloading English subtitles, they probably wouldn't have also translated. It's rare that a film that doesn't bother to do the translating on its own, that someone will do it as well, like on their own. Do you know what I mean? On their own time. So we probably were meant to see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
In fact, yeah, absolutely. Because like the final conversations...
Oh, yeah, if
you need to know what they're saying.
If you don't understand what he's saying, then the film just doesn't pay off.
Absolutely, yeah. Like they're kind of ashamed of him, sort of, because he didn't fight in Syria.
Yeah, and this is all stuff that you miss.
Yeah.
If you're not watching with subtitles. But I've fallen into that trap before, so I should have learned it, really.
Yeah.
Because I watched the Suspiria remake.
Oh, right.
Without subtitles.
Okay.
And yeah, like there was a lot of stuff in that where I was like, that's not explained. What is this? It's so like, I haven't bothered explaining anything. But if you watch it with subtitles, I think it's like the first line of dialogue. It kind of sets everything up properly.
I suppose that's our punishment for watching it illegally, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it is.
If you go to the cinema or buy it on DVD, you know what the intention is.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of make your best guess if there are no subtitles. Like,
yes.
Is it meant to be? Is it like avant-garde? What's that terrible Jean-Luc Godard film? Film Socialisme, where it's not translated.
They only translate like every 4 words.
Yeah, like every 10th. Yeah.
Every 4th word. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I thought it was doing. And like as a technique, I'm not like, oh, that's fine.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like unintrusive storytelling.
Yeah.
But then I realized, oh no, I'm just watching it wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what impact that had on my opinion of the film. I like to think not a drastic impact, because I still like it.
It's also 2 layers of alienation, isn't it? Because like you're meant to be in his shoes in this limbo, in which he's alienated, but we're now also going to alienate you from him.
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah,
very Wes Anderson. It's
but in a way that's kind of brilliant, because like even though he's living with people, he has no one.
Right,
and now we have no one because we don't even have Omar.
He was looking at the film. Now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think like that. Again, this might even confirm that, like, if you were going in with confirmation bias, this would confirm it for you. During that conversation, it pans away.
It does,
to the sky.
Yeah.
So you're not even looking at Omar anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? It reminded me of Taxi Driver. That. What do you think that was?
I thought that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because like in Taxi Driver, the idea is that Martin Scorsese
he couldn't bear to look
at Travis Bickle in that moment because it was such a horrible moment for him. Whereas in this, he's just talking to his mother on the phone. Yeah. Like, it's kind of like, it's not a great situation they're in.
I suppose it's just like, this is where he's trapped here.
Yeah.
This is where he is, you know, in the blue, the wild, grey yonder. Yeah. Well, I that's it for me. That's all I got to say about it, really.
Okay.
What about you? Anything more?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah.
Just kind of reiterate the stoicism of the film.
Yeah.
To such a degree that, like, most things are funny.
Yeah.
Like, what that scene where they're just watching the postman deliver the mail.
Yes.
It's hilarious. They're just watching him deliver the mail.
I love how they integrate Friends into their understanding of things. Yeah, they kind of culture.
Yeah, they kind of like they're learning through the prism of Friends.
Yeah, it's like they were on a break. It's like, you know,
like Ross and Rachel.
Yeah, I like all that.
Yeah.
So far my favorite film of the year.
Okay,
but we're basically only halfway through, so we'll see.
Yes.
Needless to say, it's a recommendation.
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah, you'll know pretty much straight away if it's your type of thing or not. Yeah, absolutely. But if it is your thing, then this is a good thing.
If this is your thing, you'll really like it.
Yeah,
because it's also accessible. So it's like if you're into your films, you're gonna like it, but it comes with that beautiful benefit of it's not hard work either. It is, in a way, it's breezy.
Yeah,
you know. So yes,
because it's on the Scottish Islands.
Aye, it's breezy.
Windy.
Gaelic. It's Gaelic. Okay.
It's Gaelic.
It's Gaelic.
Gael-like.
Yeah. So yeah. Gael-like.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
It's Gaelic.
Gaelic. Hang on, what? There's so many different things going on.
That is the joke.
It's Gaelic.
It's gay, yeah, but it's Gael-like. It's Gaelic.
Gaelic. Okay.
Gaelic's in Gaelic. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's Limbo. We didn't argue in that one.
No. Well, we got one more.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get through that one.
The Suicide Squad.
This is the big one. This is the big release of the moment.
It is. Yes. Plot us, Jordan.
Oh, does it need a plot? Does it need that? People know what it is.
All right, context us then.
Context us it. Well, the original Suicide Squad is obviously rubbish.
Yes.
You tried it, right?
I saw 20 minutes and it wasn't done introducing all the characters, so that's so me out.
Gave up on it, yeah. It's not, because it came out in the same year as Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
So 2016 was quite the year for
shite.
For DC in particular, but yes, for shite as a whole. Mm-hmm. Whereas Batman v Superman is just boring, impenetrable shit.
Yes.
Suicide Squad is just unfinished.
It's messy shit.
I can sort of, like, you can give, like, a somewhat decent critique of the film. Like, you can sort of understand its intentions and what it was trying to do and whether the film, were it finished, whether it would be a good film or not.
Yeah.
But in part, it feels so unfinished that it's almost wrong to criticize it.
And yeah,
because it's like, well, I didn't even, like, all of this might have been fixed. I don't even know you finished it properly. So we'll immediately say this one's better, right?
Yes.
I don't even think it's worth looking at it through the prism of the old Suicide Squad versus the new one.
No. Old one's rubbish.
Yeah.
This is not.
This is not rubbish.
Yeah.
And it's also James Gunn, who did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which people like.
And we don't really.
No. I don't hate them.
No, just never been convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the idea is that they're funny, but they also have, like, real heart to them.
Yeah, and, they're...
And I'm not saying they don't. I just, like... In both circumstances, the humour isn't, like... I don't love the humour, and I don't feel like those films are emotionally impactful.
No,
like
I agree.
In both instances, it's sort of like weak on both fronts for me.
I agree. Yeah.
Although I do acknowledge, as far as like the Marvel films go, they're probably one of the stronger. They're amongst the stronger installments.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you compare it to like Thor 2.
Well, the first one anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one, it's more the same, but
I think people. Yeah. I think the second one's preferred, right?
Is it?
I think so.
By whom?
People.
But like critics or by?
I really don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I think people.
Okay, they're wrong. The first one is better. I'm not a fan of either, but the first one is better. Yeah. Okay. So he's bringing that sensibility to the Suicide Squad.
To the Suicide Squad in an R-rated context.
Yes, and maybe that's what he needed the whole time.
Yeah, we liked it.
We did like it.
We liked it a lot.
We liked it. We really liked it.
We did really like it. It was kind of the film... well, it made me kind of go, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy didn't make James Gunn. James Gunn made Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, this is like, he's not just... He's good. Even though there's a lot of similarities between... You could draw a lot of parallels between this and Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm sure people will. This does feel like its own beast.
Yeah.
Bolstered by the fact that it is allowed to be rather gory.
Yeah, insanely gory.
Insanely gory. But outside of that, I think it's just like there's less... It feels less constrained, right?
In what way?
Well, I mean, the one thing that we sort of knew going in... We knew multiple things going in, but one of the big ones was that James Gunn had basically been given the green light by Warner Brothers to kill anyone he wanted.
Right.
Now, Harley Quinn, probably safe, right? Yes. But other than that...
Yeah. You don't really feel anyone's
unkillable.
Safe. Yeah, unkillable.
Exactly. Yeah, that... knowing that going in, combined with the opening scene in which, again, spoilers, most of the existing Suicide Squad are murdered.
Yeah, it's
brutally.
Yeah, it's a bloodbath. It's just a massacre.
Absolute bloodbath. It's like, right, no one's safe. Yeah, and that was kind of a breath of fresh air to watch a film of this scale, this kind of like, a big superhero tentpole movie like this.
Yeah.
And the stakes feel like they had some weight to them.
Well, okay, are we going to do spoilers for this film?
I think we are.
Okay. I will say the characters who survived are pretty much the characters I would have guessed would survive.
Okay.
But that didn't detract. There was still peril and all that. Yeah, the opening is a declaration, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, fuck the old Suicide Squad.
Well, not just that, but like even before that, when Michael Rooker's in the cell.
Yeah.
And the bird comes down.
Oh, yeah, that's a tonal kind of...
Yeah. This is like, right... Tone.
I think said, didn't I? Like, we were watching it, he kills the bird. And I just said, tone set. yeah, that, absolutely. But, like, it's like a meta commentary, isn't it? Like, we're going to get a Suicide Squad, have them butchered, like, because they're so ineffective.
Yeah.
And then we're going to reveal the actual Suicide Squad's on the other side of the island. And it's like James Gunn going, forget the old Suicide Squad. This is the Suicide Squad.
The title itself. Behind them, the Suicide Squad. Yeah.
And they're better. Like, out of all the characters... Because I said to you, like, if the first squad had been the focus, I would have been okay with that. Because I liked the first. Like, obviously, there are characters I loved in the new one. But, like, their banter on the aeroplane and that. And he does kind of fool you into thinking that you're going to be with these people for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Because the other thing as well is that they don't bring everyone back from the first film.
No. They keep... I think there are 3 of them, right, on that plane. Harley Quinn, Rick Flag, and Captain Boomerang.
Captain Boomerang,
Like, okay, this is the squad. And they all have personalities, and Michael Rooker's in it, and Nathan Fillion's in it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're not going to... knowing now what happens, you're not going to bring Will Smith back just to kill him off straight away.
No.
So there's obviously practical reasons why the cast were rotated somewhat.
Yeah.
But also just the fact that, like, it's a different squad.
Yeah, and there's a Weasel who's a character that you're just like, oh, I'm going to enjoy spending time with the Weasel.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of like, right, the fact that... yeah,
just thinking ahead too. Yeah, go on. Yeah. Just drowning. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh, that was nice as well. Is that it is funny.
It really is funny
because it's James Gunn. It feels like similar humor that was used in Guardians of the Galaxy, but it just lands better here.
Yeah,
it feels like it lands better here.
Yeah,
and I guess that is in part because
it's unconstrained.
Yeah, it feels more like you trust it more.
Yeah,
you feel like it's a James Gunn film rather than a product James Gunn made.
Yes.
Really not trying to slag off Guardians of the Galaxy too much.
No, but at the end of the day, that has limitations this film doesn't. It's a Marvel film.
Yeah.
PG-13 or whatever it is. Like, it had to come under a certain level, whereas this doesn't.
No.
And the first one was such a failure. They're like, oh, just do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, he clearly had carte blanche, didn't he? But yeah, like, that first squad it's like Pete Davidson's there from SNL and, like I said, the Weasel. So you think, oh, right, they're going to be around. The thing that worried me a bit was I knew it was a very big cast. I was like, oh, I don't want it to be just a whole menagerie of weird characters. And it's not, because they bring in that first bunch. Yeah. They're slaughtered. Yeah. And then we're with the same... It's quite a small cast, all things considered.
Yeah, it's like 5 of them, right?
Yeah, 5 of them, like one or 2 villains, and her back home. You know, like that's sort of it, really.
Yeah, there's people around those people.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the characters that get the focus,
you never lose where you are.
No,
in the film,
and it's nice that each character gets their moment, both from an acting perspective and in terms of an abilities showcase.
Yeah, and a resolved arc.
Yeah.
Even when you didn't think it was necessary sometimes.
That was really nice as well, to see a big budget superhero film that exists in a cinematic universe that is a closed entity.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But if you just take the film as the film, it starts, it introduces its characters, it gives them arcs, it closes them, it ends their stories.
That's it.
Yeah.
Over.
This film can be watched completely in isolation.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. That I don't have to like...
Absolutely.
Right, so they're clearly introducing him for like the next film, and then we know she's getting a prequel show, so she's not going to die.
Yeah.
So none of that.
No. It's visually stunning, isn't it?
I really love the cinematography for this.
It's really great. And just like the colours, and it's pure fun, isn't it? Like the only mandate the film had is be fun.
Be fun, and be colourful. There are a couple of moments where it does feel like they are directly, they clearly heard the criticism of the first one.
Well, the Harley Quinn scene springs to mind, where it's just flowers all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah. They're not even like...
there's no reason for it. Yeah, it's just there.
They're not even staying within the realm of reality anymore. They just want that much color. They're like, oh, different flowers, anything. Yeah.
And just like those little kind of scene cards that are made up of the environmental. Yeah,
it's not even like text on screen. It's like within it's like, what's the word? Diegetic. Yeah. Diegetic title cards.
The thing, like, the beginning, it's all these people being sent, and then you find out later they're just a decoy. So, like, oh, shit. And then Michael Rooker just runs away. And they explode his head. Yeah. And then his blood makes up Warner Brothers Pictures Presents. I was like, oh, yeah, come on. Like, I'm in. Because it's done really quietly, almost. Because then the credits just happen.
Yeah, no, yeah. You just notice it. Yeah. It's not like you see the blood like flow through the water and then it forms a W and it pans out. Yeah. It just kind of cuts.
It's just there. It's just like high angle shot. Yeah. The characters you like the most stick around the longest, I think, which is good. Yeah. They kept messing with me though with the shark. They kept fucking with me.
They wanted you to think the shark had it.
Look, the best thing about the film is the shark, and. Other than the whole package, the shark is the best thing about the film. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
And it's tailor-made. Yeah, it's tailor-made to be that way. It's like, it's Groot, isn't it? But like, more vicious than cute. But they kept making me think that they were going to kill the shark. It's like, and because he can, they might. Yeah. Like, there's that one sequence where again and again and again, you think he's going to die. Yeah. It's like, no. And the horrible way it would have been done as well.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, the shark's whole thing is that he doesn't have friends. Yeah. Right? He wants friends. He needs friends. But he eats people. Yeah. So people don't want to be his friend.
Yes.
So, yeah, there's a bit in the beginning where he like, eats... He's about to eat Ratcatcher 2. Yeah. And then she's like... would you eat your friends? He's like, I don't have friends. And she was like, well, if we were your friends, would you eat us? And he's like, no. Like he's kind of learned, like, would I don't know.
Like I guess that's inappropriate.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. And then when they're sort of in the final, just before the final fight happens, when they're in that final base, he walks up to a room that has these like cute little colourful fish creatures in there. And he's like, new friends! Yeah. And they're like...
He's goofing around with them.
He's goofing around with them, and they're sort of like mimicking his silhouette by they're making shape. And you're like, it's like... Because it just kind of ends. Yeah. So he's just like, it's just a cute little scene with the shark.
Yeah, he had a resolved arc.
Yeah, he found friends.
But even that setup made me think, he's going to die then. Like, he had that scene, and now he's going to die.
It's been resolved, so like, And then the building sort of, like, explosions happen in the building. Yeah. Those creatures get let out. Turns out they're like carnivorous. Yeah. And they start like latching onto
feasting on him.
Feasting the sharks. Like, that's horrible.
Yeah, like, because that would have been a really nicely written way for him to die as well. Yeah. Like, grim and really cruel. But like, he thought he made friends and now they're devouring him. Yeah. Like, it would fit with the film's sick sense of humour. Yeah. It was like, no, not... Is it Anansi? Is that his name or something? The actual shark's name?
Oh, Anawe.
Anansi is the Neil Gaiman thing.
All right.
Anawe, it's like, not him. Not Anawe. Yeah, Margot Robbie owns the character of Harley Quinn, doesn't she? Does. No one else should ever play her.
It's weird. It's one of those performances where I don't know if it's a good or a bad performance, but she commits so thoroughly to it.
I think it's a good performance.
Okay.
I do think it's a good one. The annoying thing about Margot Robbie is a woman that looks like her shouldn't also be a good actress. But she is a really good actress. That's the thing.
There is not a film in existence or that will ever exist that will portray a single frame of Margot Robbie that is unflattering.
It's impossible for her to look unhot.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. Because there's a scene where she's like tied up and she's being tortured.
Yeah.
And then she crushes the guy's neck between her thighs. Yeah. I was like, not a better way to go can I think of. That's how I want to go. Yeah. But no, like... When she's been beaten up, when she's just like doused in petrol, whatever, like she always looks attractive. Yeah. And I don't want to like fixate on it or be weird about it, but it's like how?
Like, explain what you have to do. Robbie, yeah.
Maybe I, Tonya, actually. I think she's pretty unappealing and I, Tonya.
Even then though. It's because you know it's Margot Robbie.
Yeah. Idris Elba, who kind of the lead, he could have been the boring straight man. But he wasn't.
No. I think I mentioned this, didn't I? Because we watched this together. Yeah. First new film in a while. It is, yeah. That we watched together. Yeah. I said to you, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Jeff in Community. Right. Because when Community starts, Jeff is that, isn't he? He is the...
Straight man,
the outsider, the audience surrogate who is there to react with disapproval at the comedic antics.
Right.
And then... Like, season 1 isn't even over when Jeff becomes, like, a comedic object himself.
Yes.
He becomes the butt of the joke. He becomes, like, the thing that people are reacting with disapproval to.
Right.
And Idris Elba kind of reminded me of that. But, like, he does very much start out as, like, the straight character. He's like, right, okay, he's the tragic hero that will, he'll have his arc, but all of the characters around him will be funny. But he's, like, the anchor.
Yes.
But no, he gets his moments as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's maybe not as fun as like Anawe, but he is very fun.
Yeah.
And again, has an arc that's resolved. It's how cleanly that's done, like all basically within the final fight.
Yeah.
I think my favourite moment of the film where I just guffawed was when he turns to Anawe and says, basically, nom nom is like, you can eat that, right?
Yeah, like Hulk smash. It's his equivalent. Yeah.
And he points at the villain, which is a big cosmic starfish.
Kaiju starfish.
Starro, I think it's called, right? Yes. Starro the Conqueror or something. And he points at it and goes, nom nom. He goes, nom nom? Yeah. He goes, nom nom. And his head starts to move, like, charging before, like, he's even computed what he's about to do. Like, before his body is committed to it. He just goes, and he starts. And it's just a tiny little moment, but I found that so funny. That's so funny.
I love that there was an army of... like creative figureheads and visual effects artists and storyboarders and concept artists and all those people who had to decide what's the funniest way a shark man can run at a giant starfish.
Exactly.
And they found it, I think.
I love how kind of it's portrayed as like a really beautiful transcendental moment. when Harley Quinn's in the eye. And all the rats start shooting through the veins.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like this beautiful moment, and it's like fucking horrific.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the starfish, and it's got like this massive pink eye.
And it's like, like falling apart. And
The only thing with Starro, I love, because it reminded me of, what's the Shrek 2 gingerbread man thing?
Oh, Mungo.
Yeah. Clumsy, doesn't know what it's doing, just smashing through buildings. And like, the way it destroys buildings is like, just sweeping its leg through it.
Yeah, it's kicking.
It doesn't kick it. It kind of drags.
Oh, yeah, it's not even a kick. Yeah,
it just drags through it.
Yeah.
And just flobbing about the place.
Yeah.
But it should have cartwheeled.
I think it does once,
It does once, does it?
Yeah.
Okay. It should have. That's how it should have moved. That would have been hilarious.
I think, it does it once.
Okay.
But it does work as like this big floppy,
just clumsy thing.
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi could have been better, couldn't he?
I think this is the big... the one big criticism we have, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily big in that, like, it ruins it. It doesn't ruin it, but it sticks out.
It does.
Just how weak Capaldi is. Not his performance, just that character.
Yeah, you could have done a lot with that character. Because he's the thinker, is that what he's called?
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be hyper-intelligent. But that never really comes into play.
You have, I mean, I don't know how far into production they cast Capaldi, but you have the template of both Malcolm Tucker and the Doctor to work from.
Yeah.
And both characters are intelligent and scheming, and like, there are things you could feed into with that. But yeah, like the final, before he meets his end, there's a scene where they take him down into the place where Starro is being kept, because they find out that's sort of what their mission is. And Capaldi, the drones, Starro's drones, because it releases like starfish that like basically like face huggers sort of take over the body. And they reveal to the Suicide Squad that Capaldi has been like experimenting on them and like raping them.
I missed that, see?
Well, he says that, like, I think one of them says he had our way with us. And then Capaldi kind of, like, cheekily goes, what are you going to do?
Okay, all right, okay.
Kind of like a little shrug. Like, it's just me down here,
Yeah.
And that's like, this is a horrible man.
Yeah.
A horrible, horrible man. A foolish, nasty man.
Foolish, nasty man. Murder and Successful, we should say.
Yeah, Murder and Successful.
It's usually IT crowd, but Murder and Successful.
Today is Murder and Successful.
Which I think no one will have watched, so go watch Murder and Successful as well.
Okay. Yeah, we're not going to bother explaining it now, right?
We can't.
Yeah. Maybe if we hadn't been arguing for an hour before, we'd have given it a go.
Yes.
But, like, we've all got lives to go back to, including you. So he has that scene where it's like, he's a horrible person. And then he sort of explains the true nature of why they're actually there.
Yeah.
And it's this big, like, aggressive speech that he's giving. It's like, right.
It's the monologue. It's the villain monologue.
The villain monologue, yeah. It's like, right, okay, only now. The problem is that feels like it's supposed to be a turn.
Yeah.
It's like, before he was just this kind of like, you're supposed to think he's this scientist that got caught up in the middle of everything, or that he was like, he had good intentions, but it just ended up with the wrong crowd, and now we've learned he's actually a bastard. It felt like it was supposed to be a subversion, but it's not a subversion of anything, because Capaldi is a non-character. He's a plot device before that scene. There's no moment where he outthinks the Suicide Squad. There's no moment where he shows off his intelligence.
The whole thing's been like a manipulation, like nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of like that they didn't do the whole, the character...
Plug the flux capacitor into the quantum.
Yeah, the character's smart because he's saying 90-syllable words.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do that, but there's nothing else there.
Yeah, he's a bloke.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
Yeah.
He's a costume, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a look. He's a design, yeah. It's also very convenient, the timing of his explanation.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, America's been involved the whole time. You're here just to clean up their mess. It's like, you could have said, why now?
Yeah.
You could have said that a lot earlier and saved yourself.
They could have at least come up with some reasons to be like, by revealing this to you now... Yeah. This is actually the smartest occasion where I could have revealed this to you because it cripples the Suicide Squad. Because you all have conflicting motivations now, or something like that.
Yeah. In fact, that would have been one good set piece, is his intelligence is, they're in like a flat at one point, aren't they? Like a block, and he's interacting with all of them at different points in different rooms, and he's turning them against each other, but very flippantly, and like he's not trying to, and that causes a fight between them. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, maybe you as the audience don't realize until the third or fourth person what he's doing, and then you have a fight between them. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Another little brief, unrelated, but a line that stuck out to me early on. I was like, oh, okay, that's a statement of intent. Is when they talk about Weasel. They go, oh, he seems cute or whatever. Because, well, he killed 26 children. Like, he goes after kids. Yeah. That's his thing.
Which is interesting because, like, kids seem to be the thing that keeps a lot of... Like, that seems to be the film's way of showing you who the real villains are.
Right.
Because everyone in the film is a villain, quote-unquote.
Yes.
Right? That's the appeal of the Suicide Squad. Ultimately, it's basically just, like... They're not even... Some of them are not even super powered, but they're just kind of, like, costumed thugs.
Yes.
Most of them are in for, like, bank robbery. A couple of people have, like, oh, I killed someone, but it was, like, one person and I have a history with them. Or, you know, they're not, like, total psychopaths.
Yeah, none of them are actual villains in that way.
Yeah. But, yeah, like, that's how the film kind of telegraphs to the audience and to the characters as well, kind of, who the real good guys are.
Yes.
Is when they find out that, like, as part of the experiments, the Starro experiments, they were experimenting on children.
Yeah.
A lot of the Suicide Squad are repulsed by that.
Yes.
But there are certain people within the team who are like, I don't care.
John Cena.
Yes. And that's his villain turn.
Wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
He's so pro-American. It's almost like a commentary on he's the anti-Captain America, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's the actual Captain America. The one that will do anything America tells him to do.
And it's kind of nice because, like, earlier on in the film... Well, like, at the very beginning, when they introduce Idris Elba to, like, the team, and she's like, oh, you know, he can... In his hand, any weapon can become a deadly weapon. Anything can become a deadly weapon.
Any weapon's a weapon.
And then they introduce John Cena, and she says exactly the same thing. And Idris Elba's like, well, this is just redundant. You can do what I can do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice that it's revealed that he was actually there with ulterior motives.
Yeah.
Because it kind of, like, gets rid of that redundancy.
Yeah, you think it's just going to be a thing for them to butt heads over and, like, constantly comparing dick sizes.
Which they do. That's a fun scene.
Yeah.
When they kill what they later learn to be the freedom fighters.
Yeah, they're allies.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're, like, competing into how they can kill them the most, like... Creatively.
Yeah.
Again, like a cool power, like, ability showcase.
Yes.
Harley has hers. They have that one. Ratcatcher has, like, the final sequence. Just any scene with the shark is, like, great.
They basically just have to stop him being as powerful as he is all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Polka Dot Man gets his moment.
Yeah, Polka Dot gets his moment. That's nice as well. I said to you, they have some pretty powerful people in this film. Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher, and the shark, under the right circumstances, are basically unstoppable.
Yeah.
And yet the film manages to control them properly.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they're contriving reasons for them to not use their powers. When they are overpowered, it doesn't feel inorganic.
Right.
Like, it works. Like, when the shark is, you know... The shark is not the brightest bulb. No. And that's his problem, is that he can do anything. He's basically unstoppable, but he needs pointing in the right direction.
He needs guidance, yeah.
Yeah. And Ratcatcher is inexperienced, and Polka Dot Man is traumatized.
Yes.
And that's kind of their limitations.
Yeah.
Rather than, like, well, we're not strong enough. It's like, no, we're strong enough. We just can't harness it properly.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I love the Milton thing. Like, a guy they basically just used to drive him into the place.
Oh, yeah.
A guy, nothing, you know, not a notable actor, not anybody. And I was, because they all run in together, and he runs with him. And I was thinking at the time, why is he running in with
What's
him?
What's Milton going to do, yeah.
And I guess maybe you weren't meant to really think about that, because then he's killed. And then Polka Dot Man's grieving.
Yeah.
And he's like, I liked him, you know? We had a bond. And Harley Quinn's like, who the fuck's Milton? But I did think, why is he's just run with them? Oh, it reminds me of another film, something like that. Where a guy's just gone with them. It's like, why are you here? No, Only Fools and Horses. There's a scene in Only Fools and Horses. This is a weird comparison. But where Dell's in the Nag's Head and he owes money to the Driscoll brothers. And it's part of a business deal with Mickey Pierce and his friend Javon, right? And Trigger's there with him at the bar. And Mickey Pierce comes in and he goes, quick, the brothers are coming. We got to run upstairs. So they all run upstairs. And they're hiding behind, like, this curtain. And it's Dell, Mickey, Javon, and Trigger's there.
All right.
He's like, Trigger, why are you here? He's like, you said run, so I just ran upstairs. Like, you don't need to be here. So yeah, like, that's what Milton is, basically.
Yeah.
He's just gone with them. And then he just gets shot through the head. He gets murdered. Yeah, but John Cena.
Yeah, that was very well handled.
Yes.
Because he's set up as, like, a foil comedic foil, I suppose, for Idris Elba. Like, it's their constant, like, dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
The fact that they're kind of redundant. It's redundant having them both on the same mission. But, like, John Cena's attitude and his costume.
Yeah.
And he's very clearly supposed to be a character you don't take seriously.
Right.
He's a fun character. Until he's not.
Yeah.
Like, it's a proper villain turn.
Yeah, he murders Rick Flag, basically.
He murders Rick Flag. I like as well, because we said earlier that, like, James Gunn was given carte blanche to kill whoever he wanted.
Yeah.
I like that he made sure Rick Flag was dead and stayed dead.
Yeah.
You see the debris puncture his heart. It's like, you can't bring Rick Flag back.
Yeah.
He is dead.
I knew he would go. Did you think he would go?
Do you know, I really didn't. I honestly had no idea going in who was going to go.
I just thought because
all I knew was that Harley wouldn't.
He's from the old Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
he's kind of the same as Idris Elba and Cena. You know what I mean? He's just a guy with a gun. He's gone.
Okay,
and he did. But I thought they would kill the shark.
Right,
but they didn't.
No.
So the shark made it.
Yeah.
They did. I thought but a character I really like is going to die, and that ended up being Polka Dot Man.
Yes.
The post credits scene.
This is another weakness with the film, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a shame it came when it did because we were riding high, and then that happened. Oh no, they've done that now. Obviously, going in, we knew that there was going to be a Peacemaker TV series.
Yeah,
and then we've spoiled everything else, but he gets killed, or it so appears.
Yeah, well, he gets shot in the neck.
Gets shot in the neck, bleed in the artery, bleeds out.
Yeah,
and it's a payoff.
Yes.
You know, the bullet thing. And he stopped. Like, oh, it really is finite. Maybe it's a prequel TV series then. Good. It's not like it's going to go on and on and on forever. And then at the very end of the film, it's revealed he's being kept alive in intensive care. And then, so, what are you going to use him for? Oh, nothing much, just to save the fucking world. And I hated that line, because it's such like, we're going to end on that line sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I hate that he's still alive. I mean, no, kill him.
Yeah, it's such a disappointment, because it contradicts what we liked about it, which was that it felt such an enclosed unit.
Yeah.
It started, happened, and resolved.
Yeah.
And there's nothing hanging.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it's a painful reminder that this does indeed take place in this money-making machine.
Yeah.
I like to think that, I said to you, like, a fun idea, which they would never have done. But I feel like if the idea had occurred to James Gunn, and he did indeed have full creative control, they would have allowed him to do it. Was they announce a Peacemaker TV show, kill the character in the film, and then go, well, there's no show because he's dead.
Yeah, to really be anti-Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, we are not Marvel.
Yeah, it's like a statement of intent, isn't it?
Yeah.
We announced the show before you've seen the film.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no show because the character died.
Right. It'd be the biggest bluff ever because everyone does that now. So, no, so you really didn't think he was going to die. And then he does.
Yeah.
You know, we really... that's what it takes now to fool the audience.
Yeah. Lying to them.
Not announcing a character has a spin-off show.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to die then. Yeah, that was disappointment. I tell you what would have been another good double bluff. We've been doing that. Like, oh, God, no, the setting at Peacemaker. Like, it's going to be a sequel series. He's still alive. And then just having one of them going, like, no, he's a fucking cunt. And just smothering him with a pillow. That would have been a great, the anti-post-credit scene. Yeah. It's not a setup, it's just the ending. Yeah. If only they'd had the balls to do that.
Yeah.
I like I don't know what it is in the original Suicide Squad, like the moment where they prove that they're not all fuckers. I don't know what it is, but I like how it was done in this one. Like, they're all going to walk away, and there's like, oh, fuck, we really should stop the massive creature.
Yeah.
And then she's going to blow them all up, and then her own employees just knock her over the head with a massive pole. I like that last shot of her as well, where she's just got, like, the ice pack on her head, and just, like, looks out of the office. Like, oh, I've got to work with these people.
Yeah. But yeah, it's another example of the kid thing, isn't it? Because she's constantly threatening Idris Elba's kid. She's like, I'm basically going to make sure she goes to prison and gets murdered if you don't do this. So yeah, another, instance of where, that's the film signalling who the real villains are. Yeah. I like that she's a proper piece of shit in this film.
Oh, Viola
Davis is because that was always my understanding of the character through the comics.
Yeah.
In the original Suicide Squad, she just kind of seems like
the overseer, is she?
Yeah, you don't like her because she doesn't have the squad's best interests in mind. But what she's doing is ultimately
it's a good thing.
Yeah, she's putting together a team to stop supervillains.
In this, she's like a spitting villain, full on phlegm mode. like her lipstick is smearing because she's so like violently spewing hate.
Yeah.
Like, you motherfuckers, and just, like, oh, good, all right.
Yeah.
They're really putting Viola Davis through.
It's nice that, they're allowing it to be a proper piece of shit.
Yes.
That's another thing I like as well, though, is that everyone who's kind of involved or connected to Project Jotunheim, which is, turns out to be Starro.
Yeah.
Everyone involved in that is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Even Starro is a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, you've got, like, you find out that the American government discovered Starro, and they wanted to conduct experiments, but they didn't want to do it on their own soil, so they put it in this sovereign, in this nation. And the government that governed that nation would send political dissenters to Starro to be murdered. Mm-hmm. And then that government was overthrown, and that's the government that the Suicide Squad are fighting throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
Who are also kind of bastards because they're oppressing their people.
Yeah, it's like a militia government.
Yeah, militia government. And then you find out that Peacemaker was sent there by Viola Davis to like cover everything up. So they're all bastards. Peter Capaldi is an utter bastard because he's not just caught in the middle. He's
raping his subjects.
He's raping his subjects. And then I feel like in a more traditional, even if you were able to get away with all of this in a film, a more traditional superhero film, where like Superman or Batman or the Flash were the heroes rather than Bloodsport and Harley Quinn, Starro would be portrayed as a sympathetic party.
Yes.
Wouldn't he? He would be like the creature that was captured and like, I just want to leave.
Yeah.
I'm the victim of
Shamu.
Yeah, I'm the victim of the horrible American government. If you let me go, I will go.
Yes.
And they let him go and he leaves. But no, they release him and he just starts enslaving the entire island.
He's Starro the Conqueror.
Yeah.
He's like, I will take control.
Yeah. Everyone involved in that is a piece of shit. And I think that's sort of the benefit of doing a film like this, right? Where you're not concerned about the heroes being the heroes and the villains being the villains.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's a flaw that a lot of these films run into, right? Mainstream villain films. Cruella, Venom.
Right.
I haven't seen the Loki TV show. I don't know if it falls into that mold as well.
Oh, yeah. He's not a villain in the show.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. We're going to make a show about the villain because people love the villain.
Yeah.
But they're the protagonist, and we can't have a villain be a protagonist, so we have to make them fight a bigger villain.
That's the thing.
So now they're just the hero.
It's true that quote about a villain's only a villain until you hear his story. But that just expands infinitely then. Because, you just make a worse villain.
Yeah.
Well, now we're going to do her spin-off.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes on forever, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's nice that everyone in the film...
Minus the final 4.
Yeah, minus the ones that survive, everyone's a piece of shit.
It's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
They're just the least shitty pieces of shit.
Yeah, there's no heroic character. There's just some characters that are more sympathetic than others.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the scene between Idris Elba and his daughter in the prison.
Yeah.
Because it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be like the scene where they go like...
The one bit of heart the film has.
It's like, he actually loves his daughter. Like, what he did for her benefit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're just like, fuck you! Fuck you, I hate you!
I didn't want you. She insisted on a paternity test.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. Because, you do expect that to be, they're still going to try and slot in a bit of sentimentality.
He's actually a good guy. He just took a wrong turn.
I suppose Ratcatcher is the closest thing the film has to a heart.
Yeah.
Really, isn't she?
It's just always asleep.
Yeah,
she's always sleepy.
A moody teenager, like, oh, what? Yeah. The thing is, like, at the end, because he's got to face he's scared of rats, isn't he? And, there are a couple of moments where the film has a heart. And, like, he explains why. But at the end, she summons millions of rats to kill Starro.
Yes.
And it's like his moment to get over it. But I said to you, like, I don't think it's irrational at that point.
No.
Like a horde, an armada of rats.
If you weren't afraid of rats, and you were in that situation,
that'd do it.
You would develop a phobia of rats.
Yeah. Also, you're meant to be scared of rats.
Yeah.
You're biologically, evolutionarily meant to be scared of rats.
Yeah,
so
rats
I don't think it's
typically don't signal, wild rats at the very least.
Yeah, they signal plague.
Yeah.
So, do we have anything else to say about it?
I don't think so.
No.
It's a very glowing review that we have.
Yeah, we really, really like it.
I feel like if we were to carry on, it would just be a longer list of this is what I liked, this is what I liked, this is what I liked.
I think it's so far my second favourite film of the year.
It really, really is up there for me.
Yeah.
The problems that we have with it are ultimately very minor and very minimal. We've already kind of outlined them. Capaldi they could have done something with him.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame.
that they had to end it with Cena. Yeah,
I really, really hope. I trust that's not Gunn. I trust that's not James Gunn.
I don't know, like, because I said, like, he's the guy behind the show.
No, he is.
He's written pretty much every episode, and he's directing like half of it.
But I like to think that he would have at least known that, like, oh, this is a shame.
I don't think so. I mean, because, you know, he's plugging his next thing, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. But the rest of the film kind of makes up for it, I suppose. Yeah. A recommendation.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. On that note.
Okay, all right.
We didn't argue.
Yeah. No, we didn't. Sorry about that.
I haven't listened back to it yet, so I'll apologise if it's terrible.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay, then.
That's it, then.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Not letting you get the last word, Jord. You always get the last bye. I'm getting it this time. Bye.
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 Bye.